every local election, either an enlarged role or a likability role or something. There are also likability factors that candidates portray, right? And that typically helps in the sustainability as a politician over time.
And there's another point, Eddie, that sometimes in choosing your candidate, you may want to blunt the strength of the opposition in a particular part of that constituency. Right. So, for example, if you are looking for a candidate in Choiseul and you are the UWP, you would want a candidate who would poll very strongly, or who might be from Morgouge, because Morgouge is a Labour stronghold. And likewise, if you're a Labour Party and you're looking for a candidate, you want somebody from Delsey, because Delsey has been a bastion of UWP support in Choiseul.
We'll come back to the point in a bit, and on to Rahim for the intellectual factor. In politics, in contemporary Caribbean, certainly St. Lucian politics, they've gotten a bashing over the last few decades. It's not been practical and effective, pragmatic and effective. You'll answer the charge, Rahim, your intellectual cap. But we're going to reports. We have two reports from Grosley and Babono on the action today, earlier today, on the field as the electors went about the voting process. Have the first report? Okay, not quite ready. We'll continue with the discussion. Rahim, you're speaking of the intellectual factor. Many have accused the intellectuals' involvement or intellectual approach to politics as not being pragmatic, not being results-oriented. And so, unlike the days when we were loaded with the intellectual factor, the 70s, the 80s, and so on, we've seen a kind of withdrawal. Your own take now on the place of the intellectuals and their approach to the place in politics.
Yeah, I think obviously the intellectual always has an appeal, obviously naturally among intellectuals anyway, and within the country by and large, because it gives the country a sense of an air of superiority, to use that term, among other countries. But I worry that at times there is the intellectual who is not able to relate to ordinary struggles and may frame it in esoteric language, as I am doing right now, guilty so, and which doesn't resonate with people on an everyday basis, which is problematic. So I observed, obviously, within the campaign, individuals speaking very heavily of economic policy and social policy, language that suggested to me that they were going up for presidents of the European banks and the Caribbean Development Bank. And I don't mean it in a disparaging way, but just to say that we must understand how to engage with people about very critical issues. And it's not a problem of intellectualism per se, but it's just a question of being able to reframe things and get people to understand in a very real way that this is the language for what it is that you're feeling. Because the truth is, there are many rules of science and many rules of economics that individuals, ordinary people, may not be able to explain in that language, but they feel it every day. And they know it. So they know what the taxes are doing to them. They know what inflation is doing to them. They know what a disinflationary policy is without being able to call it that. And I think at times there needs to be that level of engagement within our policies. And I've always made the point that I think at times individuals are very keen on just sort of coming out of the bathroom and just jumping into politics, believing that you can just enter and say and engage in that way, as opposed to submitting themselves to a very deep process of public speaking, of communication, of these things that allow people to understand you, because you will not be able to be related, especially in a context where you have a country which doesn't have very informed debates among political leaders, a country that the part of the political culture is a lot of platform speaking, and it's certainly not, the platform speaking is not a place where all of the intellectuals go to have coffee. But I think these are some of the issues that over time some of the candidates as part of the election need to work on, and they need to work with ordinary people to do it, because I think that may be affecting some of their own deliverability and their own success at the polls. Yeah,
well, we're at it, the youth vote. Another constituency that we throw at you. The youth vote, often almost cliched, persons speak of recognizing, acknowledging the youth vote. How you think, how efficiently and effectively it has been, and respectfully it has been treated in the Caribbean. Let's do it more broadly first, and St. Lucia. Yeah, I think in some respects, young people, first of all, I think the data needs to be disaggregated, right? Let's start there. I don't think we've gotten particular data from across the region that gives you a very quantifiable way of knowing how many young people have engaged in the voting
voting process. But at times I worry also that the young people as part of the process are engaged in a sort of piecemeal, anti-intellectual way, that they're engaged in as part of the fanfare of Caribbean politics, which is a very fundamental part, which I totally enjoy and love. I think it's a firm part of Caribbean culture and it should never wither away. But I worry that they too are not being taken seriously as intellectual components as part of the process, whether it be as part of candidate selection, whether it be as part of manifesto creation, whether it be as part of engagement, as part of the political party, the reframing of the policies, beyond just the sort of mere canvassing and searching for votes among individuals. The truth is, I think at times politicians believe that the demographic doesn't come out in a very massive way. They don't have the data that suggests to them that these individuals are coming in a mass way. So the middle-aged individuals are those they may target more, because these are people that they could count on, that have familial ties to the party, that over time have been loyal and faithful supporters. They're coming to the rallies, etc. So these are the individuals that they can count on. But what I witnessed this far in this campaign suggests to me that young people are part of the campaign rallies. They are part of the production of music as part of the campaigns. I saw some very young faces as part of the rallies that I don't know that they're 18 years old to vote either way. And we've seen a lot of videos as part of our own political terrain, which sees young children singing campaign songs and engaging in that process. So that is why I see these sort of young people fitting within it. And if you look at the candidates again, you may not see individuals within that 20 and early 30s bracket as well that indicate a very strong sense of engagement of young people. Probably as canvassers, probably as part of the youth arms in the parties, probably as part of the foot soldiers, but not embedded within the political parties themselves or part of the process.
There's something I want to interject to your points, which I support, is the fact that if we want to see young people more integrated in the political process, they have to be integrated not just during general elections. And that also begs the question of young people in civil society and the agencies to represent them. For example, the National Youth Council. Where is the role, or what is the role of National Youth Council in ensuring that youth voices are represented not just in parties, but in their own organization that represents them? That's a question that we must ask. And even in our school systems, are young people properly apprised of what their role is? As an educator, when I have discussions with my students about their vote, many times their participation is influenced by their parents, and it's also limited by the fact that many persons also have a limited view of what politics is. They get their education from their parents, and maybe what they might listen to might be one program, and that is about it. And maybe later on, as Ryan mentioned, the popularization of music or the Denry segments, or maybe a few pop-ups of social media influencers as the voices to really engage, but to say that they understand the things that we are dissecting here, it is not something that is brought forward in the education sector in a formative way, or even in other aspects when we think about national development, so that they have a stake, because we want them to be engaged, not just when there's general elections, but throughout St. Lucia's national development. And that's an important point that we must bring forward.
What I can tell you,
We'll get back to you, Ryan, in just a bit, but the producers are ready and screaming to run a report from Micoud North from earlier today. Micoud North.
And we are here in Micoud North, and we are, of course, making sure that we keep you upbeat with what's happening for election 2025. Here, we have heard quite a few people came in early on. We saw numbers, according to the officer, that have been unprecedented. She said, and I quote, that it is probably some of the largest numbers she has seen in our history, which shows that the eagerness is there and the excitement is rife for election 2025.
The morning was very, very busy in all areas. Persons actually came out. We had elderly, we had disabled, we had all types of persons coming in just to cast their ballots early. So it was indeed very hectic for us. Polls opened on time, and we went ahead. We tried to avoid delaying the process. There are persons that we were not able to locate on the list. So what we had them to do, just wait a bit, and we attended to somebody else. So as soon as this information came in, those persons were brought in. They were not allowed to wait or to take the back of the line. They were brought in to vote. Actually, we had assistant poll clerks on the outside, assisting with directing the electors to the correct areas for voting. We also had the police assisting to ensure that law and order was maintained. So it went quite smoothly. Persons stayed on that line because they knew that they want to cast their ballot, because they know any rowdy thing, any rowdy behavior, they would have to go out and then relax and then come back in.
I am outside the polling division N5, and this is the Mikud Secondary School. Now, today, according to some of the officers, we had seen unprecedented numbers as voters were eager to cast their ballots early. We are seeing numbers coming in, however, steadily, slowly, but surely. Individuals are still coming through to ensure that their civic right and their duty is being upheld.
Thank you, Kendall Scadi Eugene, for that report out of Miku North, certainly one of the constituencies with lots of interest. One of the absolute strongholds of the United Workers' Party, the father of the UWP, the founder, father of the nation, as it were, and the UWP thought then to have been unbeatable for a long time, and so a phenomenal development last election when Jeremiah Norbert came through and won. Interesting examples, as we mentioned, the candidates and the parties, and what causes certain drifts. One could look quickly at a stronghold, a powerful stronghold, a fortress of UWP in the days. Alan Buskey, your question, Jimmy, about whether it's candidate or whether it's party. Alan Buskey was absolutely invincible for so many years when elections. Once he left, and then the 1997 avalanche of tsunami, your choice, came. The UWP lost there, and since then it's been ding dong, and certainly not as garrison as it were in the old days. That was one example. Miku now drifting and up for grabs, which was not the case. And also the thinking about what made certain areas strongholds. Why was the Miku-Dennery belt maybe easier explained with the Compton influence and the banana belt, as it were, and loyalty to Compton, who really put the pressure on the plantation owners and really led, in a true sense, the struggle for banana farmers. But a number of others, the absolute loyalty through the years of Labrie, Vieux-Fort North, lesser extent, Vieux-Fort South, much lesser, but Vieux-Fort North and Labrie. Why then? Why then, back then with Alan Buskey, what was the magic of Alan Buskey that so endeared him to the public? And these factors we could look at as we go through and get past 6 o'clock.
To the point where Teddy, bellwether, Babonneau has actually now become a bellwether. But since 1997, Babonneau has never voted with the opposition. Right. Babonneau has always been in government. Whether that remains this time around, bellwethers are bellwethers until they're not. So whether that remains, the question of Miku is an extremely important one, and I think we also must not discount the influence of what appeared to be a split of the Compton family, because remember, Janine ran not as a UWP in Miku North, and I think that may have served to erode the support of the UWP in that constituency, because the Compton name was no longer strongly associated with that constituency. So that that's one of the things. But you're right. I mean, why has is Vieux-Fort North's loyalty to the St. Lucia Labour Party, is that because of Cecily? Is Cecily the one who consolidated?
More historical.
Yeah. So.
Than beyond
exactly beyond
these factors are interesting. One has the stories and from the early analysts of the Compton, then in his wisdom, in his shrewdness. Saltibus was a UWP area, and so he took it out of Labrie and annexed it to Chazelle. Some would say gerrymandering, some would say very shrewd move. But what about Saltibus in that little pocket? What made it so peculiarly attached to UWP and ultimately to Compton?
As opposed to Labrie.
Labrie.
But I also think we need to consider, apart from community supporting a particular party, what has the opposing party not done to convince a community to vote? Dela nuka kachile nuka palia sumanye Labour nisipo aviefo, mais nous pas kachile qui qualité candidat floboka voye pour moun choisir. Because yes, the reverse. So
But that's
the wrong kind of mentality to have, because even in the discussion on the Miku North,
both parties in
the Miku North respect, I remember when Jeremiah Norbert was running, and some of my colleagues there were telling me about his approach, that he did not assume that it was a stronghold. He took every household seriously and approached it with that measure, in addition to other local factors, maybe the anti-government sentiment that was on the ground, helped to secure support. And I think an important point that you also raised, Dr. Fletcher, in addition to speaking about Janine Compton's running as an independent, is not merely a lack of support for Compton, but a shift in mindset that we're not taking no that is happening among our people, where we have a political memory that links us and gives us loyalty to a party. But when the party no longer serves the community in a way that it sees, there needs to be a breakaway, and many persons are seeing themselves in that light, that yes, we are grateful for the contribution of various political parties, whether it is the Sinusha Labour Party or the United Workers' Party, but at this present time, does the party really serve or represent what we are? And the parties themselves are going through their own forms of transformations, where we see different iterations that may not match the value systems of a bygone era. And these are some of the things we want to look at in terms of the evolution of our voters' behavior, and also what the results are, where we see historic shifts, as we saw in Miku North, happening in constituencies. So no constituency should ever be a safe seat, because you treat them with a level of dignity and respect by sending your best and doing your best when you're in governance, so that they feel that you are an option that they want to select.
And also the evolution of that
I want to get back to that in a bit. We have a number of reports, as many as 4 from the field, and we'll run them back to back for the benefit of our viewers. Let's go to some of the action from earlier today. As we approach the close of polls, you're doing the count, Riza. 6 more minutes? What do you have, 5?
We have 6 more minutes.
Let's go to the reports.
Until the official end.
Yes, to
Hello,
official.
St. Lucia. I am Claudia Monlouis, and a warm welcome to you on voting day, December 1st, 2025, as the GIS brings you the happenings on the ground. We are here at the polling station G4 in the electoral district of Ancillary Canries, and the candidates are Mr. Wayne Girard and Mr. Dominic Fede. Here at polling station G4, we are told that the atmosphere has been relatively quiet and calm, and the logistics have been flowing smoothly. We're taking some interviews and some perspectives from the presiding officer, other staff of the electoral department who are assisting with the flow and running of the elections, and some voters.
I am Dominic Leonti. I am an assistant superintendent of police. For the elections, I have responsibility for the Ancillary Canries constituency. So in terms of a law enforcement point, I am from Canries, and therefore the polling division and the 100 yards mark have been respected. We are, of course, in the safest part of the island, which is Canries, or I could say crime-free. And so, except for the little banter in terms of persons now realize that they could show off their color. So you see a lot of colors around, but on a law enforcement point of view, we have had nothing whatsoever, no disturbances, no quarrels, no fights, nothing. Things have been as quiet as ever. From 5 a.m. The place was packed, but as you know, voting started at 6:30 a.m. promptly, and then there was that kind of, I would not say long lines, but moderate. And there are different polling areas where you would find the concentration of, for example, the box where A to C and D to H. This is the box that has been constantly have persons on it. The other boxes, so right now if you go there at this time, 11:25, you would find that the L and the NZ, these things are actually free and open. So we are just preparing for, of course, the contentious part, which is when polls close at 6 p.m.
I'm Roger Labudi, election clerk for the electoral district Ancillary Canries. And I am supervising this polling station, which is G4 of the electoral district, which takes in persons from Anslavedi down to Belvedere of Canries. That is the area that we cover for the polling station. When we open on time. Started on time from 6:30, and we had a very, very large number of persons waiting to go and cast the ballots, and they were able to queue up in a decent manner, and the voting started well, and we did not have any hiccups at the beginning, except for when the data or the persons had to begin to flash who has voted and to actually access whether those persons are on the system as they are verified. And because of the traffic, the number of persons at the moment accessing it had dropped, but we were able to get it rectified through electoral department, the IT unit, and so the voting process has been moving smoothly. Well, with that being done, you had persons being able to come and leave because they have to work, and some persons who want to vote early and get it out of their way. So the process has been fairly and squarely. There isn't any kind of problem as much to complain about.
Okay, I'm Princess Augustine, presiding officer for polling division G4. This morning, we came here quite early, before 5 o'clock, and this was basically to ensure that polling started on time, voting started on time, and that everything went smoothly. We wanted to ensure that every sign, everything that voters needed or required was ready, and that the poll clerks took their oaths. So we came in quite early to ensure that this happened and to open our gates at exactly 6:30. We have about 20 persons on our team, 5 presiding officers and 1 poll clerk per station, as well as an assistant and a lines person. Okay, so coming in here, this election day is not an easy task. And so, you always need to ensure that the presence of God is in your midst, and, to ask for the patience and the guidance to deal with everyone that you will be encountering for the day, because we know what that's like with different humans of different personalities as well. So, it was essential that we seek God. The polls will close at 6 p.m. At this time, the presiding officer will count the number of persons who are on the line at 6 o'clock. So if there are 3 persons left on the line, the presiding officer will ask the police officer to stand at the end of the line. The gates will be closed, and everyone on the line before 6 or at 6, which is closing time, will be allowed to vote. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. So gates will be closed. Once you are on the line, you are on the compound, you are in to vote before 6 or by 6 p.m., you will be allowed to vote.
I'm Kezia Charles, and this is my first time voting. And I wouldn't say that I couldn't sleep last night. I think I slept really well, in the hopes that Lucians would make the right decision this time around, especially as a student and a first-time voter. I listened to both policies of both parties, and I decided to make the right choice for my future, and hopefully other people do the same. So, yeah. I haven't gone inside yet. I'm still waiting on the line. We've been waiting for over an hour. I would say it could be a little bit more smooth, especially for people who this is not their first time voting. They already know the procedure. You don't have to explain to every single person. So for people like me, I would say yes, an explanation is needed, but not for every single person. I think that's exactly what's holding up the line. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And since so many people with the surnames, A to C, that's a lot of people, so it could have moved faster, I would say.
It is plain, the issues are there, and you have to choose the best place that you want to vote, because it is critical and it's important for our country. And if we, as individuals, as people of St. Lucia, love St. Lucia, will do the right thing. What I will say to them, please, don't be reluctant. Come out and vote, because our country, we need it. Well, it was fascinating, but I'm thinking, I was taking a look at the ballot. It was too clear, so that people can see. If you don't cover it with your hand, they will see where you vote. it wasn't good. But I covered it and I put it where it belongs.
Yeah, from the reports and certainly the anecdotal reaction and we've gotten earlier in the day that generally the elections seem to have gone well and organized, the occasional incidents, but generally, as has been the case the last few elections, has gone well. It would be remiss not to go into the personal experiences of the panel earlier today. Edwin?
Well, I got to the polls just after 6:30. Went up to 7. The lines were not very long. I don't know if it was a particularity about the line I was on that, you know, it went through. Within 10 minutes, I was able to get to the, you know, the various officials.
Tell us where you're coming from. Tell us where you were voting for.
Oh, I voted at the preschool, the convent preschool, right? And, you know, this is where I've voted for the past 3 or 4 elections. Okay, so it's very familiar to me. And I could see walking down the road that all the posters were removed, right within the 100 yards area, except 2 curiously were still there. But I suppose it's sometimes impossible to get to all of it. The flags, some of the flags were still there. I suppose it's much more difficult overnight to remove flags and stuff like that. And they told me to take off all my electronics. And, you know, I went and exercised my franchise, so to speak.
Trust your voting finger.
My voting finger.
Right.
Yes.
Is it that time?
It's 4 minutes after 6, so polls will officially close. However, those persons who are still on the line will still be granted the right to vote.
So persons are no longer, as they say, to go to vote.
No.
Those on the line will be allowed, but you cannot now be heading to a polling station. History, gentlemen and lady, we're certainly presiding over it, that the decision night, as we're saying, it was decided today. In a few minutes, the results will start flooding in, as they did. They will indeed flood in, and the curiosity of the public and the electorate has hardly ever been higher as we went through. But quickly, Rahim and Riza, your experience at the polls today?
I'll allow Rahim to go before.
I think mine went smooth, actually, at least for myself. I may have been some issues of my own doing with finding my name on the list by virtue of having 2 surnames. So I wasn't sure whether it was registered under Augustine or Joseph. It turns out it's the first surname, not the second. Interestingly enough. So it went pretty smooth. I think nationally, however, we will hear some more reports of the very long lines as well, and the situation in the police over the weekend, which was quite
The mid-morning seemed to have been okay, though. The mid-morning. Let's just try to make contact with one of our panelists who is remotely joining us, Cynthia Barrow-Giles, Professor Cynthia Barrow-Giles in Barbados. Do we have Cynthia on the line? Good evening, Cynthia. No, we don't have Cynthia.
Not as yet.
We don't have Cynthia as yet.
So
we can go in, Riza.
Continue. So I am registered to vote in Vipo South, and I was a little earlier than Mr. St. Catherine. I leve bien bonne. I parti bien bonne. Quand c'est mon nom, I 10 minutes après 6 heures, so 10 past 6, and the line was long. So there was great enthusiasm to vote in Vipo South. It took me about an hour for me to cast my vote. I did so with my mom, and then to prepare for us to be here today. So from all looks of it, persons were enthusiastic to come out early to make sure that their vote counted. And that says something about people wanting to make a statement as to where they want this country to go.
I really think the enthusiasm in Beaufort South, Beaufort North, Labrie will be very high.
It is.
And that is because of that health-related issue with the opening of the hospital and how they felt marginalized to some extent. You know, so I think that there will be some implications for that.
Candidates to both in terms of the incumbents and the opposition candidates as well are playing a huge role in terms of these elections. And again, when the results come out, we'll be able to give a more concrete analysis of the why. We're not going to predict or say anything that we're not sure of at the moment.
And you spoke of candidates incumbents, this incumbency issue. How often or if ever has an incumbent government candidate increase his margin or indeed absolute number of votes. Interesting. That someone in government, as the parliamentarian for some constituency, being able to increase their vote while during incumbency. It's often challenging to do so, to increase. Very challenging to do so. Incumbent candidates have, the likes of Philip Pear, as incumbent candidates from opposition to government when there's a national swing. But indeed, when you are, in fact, let's see this year, Philip Pear would be telling himself that perhaps he could try to do it.
What happens with an incumbent is he has a lot more name recognition, so he can better fend off challenges.
Some might say more resources. Some might say the state machinery to be wisely used. There's no running from that. But there's also the attrition, and more people to please. Then you are the target. You are to deliver. The more pressure on you. They're more forgiving when you're in opposition, and they know you don't have the state machinery.
Well, the wisdom
SVG could be an example of that too.
The wisdom is you start losing votes from the day you win the election. That's the wisdom, because you see you've promised certain things. People have certain expectations. You, despite your best intentions, it will be difficult for you to meet the expectations of everyone. So from the day you've won that election, the very next day you start to lose votes. There's attrition. So you're right. I mean, this election will be very interesting to see, not just on the candidate level, but also on the party level. What happens to the St. Lucia Labour Party. There's been all sorts of talk about how better it will do or how it will do, and the United Workers' Party has also been countering of how well it will do. So I think it'll be very interesting to see whether an incumbent party is actually able to increase its standing over the last time, whether that works out, as some within the Labour Party have been predicting will work out. That will be a very interesting dynamic. But going back to the whole thing about voting, Teddy, I mean, I have the distinction in voting in A1A. So that's the first thing that's on your list, A1A. And I usually, like Edwin and Raisa, go to vote very early in the morning. This time I decided, you know what, I'm too used to getting on that line for 6 o'clock and staying an hour on the line. So I went to vote at 8:30, 8:45. There were 3 people in E2F ahead of me. One was in, actually voting. There were 2 people ahead of me. I was in and out in no time. So this was the most pleasant voting experience I've ever had. But the other lines, with the exception of G to I think, was also short. All of the other lines, P to Z, was a disaster. P to Z, there were people, I think, on P to Z all day long. My wife went to vote, and she votes she doesn't vote in P to Z. She votes in the one just before that. And she told me her line was long, but nothing like P to Z. So there's some lines.
So don't they, have a voters list, you sort it alphabetically, and then you do a quantile?
But I think what they do, Edwin, I think what they do is on the basis of the number of electors. The same thing we're going back to. So okay, you have 300 people in polling division A1. Right. So let's say you have 5 different polling boxes in polling division A1, and you decide you will go with 60 per polling box. But you're assuming that there are actually 60 electors in each box. Some of these people are not there. Some of these people might have migrated. So you might find that a box might have 60, but only 50 people on island, and another one might be showing 60 and it has 60. To just simplify it. So I think that's the problem.
I think something else which came up, which was quite worrying, and I hope it was rectified, is this idea of the police vote in the South. I mean, I think it's common knowledge that the South has the most emergency personnel for whatever reason. But the Friday vote seemed to have been a very long and arduous task, which is akin to disenfranchising individuals, because individuals can decide this is taking too long and I'm going home. So it would be interesting to see, especially if it is that we have some of the data that will inform that level of attrition, that level of being fed up, to use local parlance, and having to stay very long. Of course, I commend the officers for staying for so long to exercise that franchise, but it must have been very, very frustrating, and something must have gone terribly.
But it should also be noted, Ryan, that those who were not able to vote on Friday were able to vote today. So, but I agree with you that staying on the line until 10 o'clock and not being able to vote is frustrating, but they were able to vote today.
I mean, in any instance, I think the provision then even makes it even less attractive, because imagine if I live in Grocery, but really I voted in
what are divisions? There are divisions cut off. However, for the East and the South, as you rightfully said, there is a large proportion, not just of police, but also fire officials and others that had to come in. And I also think the issue from some of the complaints that came to me from persons who I know who are police officers and fire officials is that they do not believe that there were sufficient individuals at the polling stations to man the number. So perhaps they did not anticipate the number
There's been
that
effectively
actually
a
came
concession.
out. So there was a report that came out where an apology was given in that respect to approve the process, to improve on it in time to come.
Well, some might say they hang all our analysis and certainly dissecting, but in the end, they may throw at you, isn't the election, hasn't it become really and truly for the average voter, elector, a referendum on the leaders, on the two leaders?
I think to some extent it is. I think to a large extent it is. I think particularly in our politics where the leader plays such an important role. I can't say he or she because the only time we've had a she was when Dr. Morella Joseph led the United Workers' Party in 2001. But he plays such a central role and it's so important to how people perceive the party. And I'm sure Edwin, as someone who has done polls, can verify this. But when you poll, one of the things you always look for is the popularity of the leader.
Yeah.
And in some cases, you see that the leader is more popular than the party.
Yeah.
So, and the leader then lifts the party up. I without seeing any...
Or conversely,
and without seeing any polling data for this year, I would be very surprised if Philip J. Pierre was not as popular or more popular than his party. Because Philip J. Pierre enjoyed a popularity this election that, you talk about this whole question about people improving on their electability. You saw that with Philip J. Pierre. So that is something that I think certainly has to be factored in. What role does the political leader play in enhancing the prospects or diminishing the prospects of his party?
Just before we get the votes, the big factor we must consider, a major factor in the change, the progression, some may say, or the change dynamic in the politics, campaigning and so on. New media, social media, riser. I know you're very keen. You, in fact, one of the antagonists. Let's go.
I simply study what changes take place in how we communicate and the evolution of it and who it's targeted towards. So information is very important to a voter. Nous passons tout partout à cette ici. So there nous tout qu'avait trois programmes. Il y en a construit, il y en a choisi, il y en a vu for. En même temps, puis nous social media. However, one of the challenges is now trying to ascertain truth from disinformation and also misinformation, where individuals, once they see something online, automatically it's true without even verifying. And then you also have the use of bot farms. So this election season in particular, I saw, for example, in official news media articles, a number of comments. However, when you click the comments, they're of fake pages. Over a dozen, and these fake pages are like by 20 dozen fake pages, some in Jamaica, some in Malaysia, and these things also shape the mindsets and the perceptions of people. So they just let me see cut a particular policy or action, So how do we now help our populace become more discerning, educate them on what is true? What do you look for when you look at a comment? How do you read something? How do you verify that an article is actually something that is worth its salt? Because you want people to actually have real information to make decisions that change their life for the better. Because honestly, all St. Lucians, is my genuine belief, want a better life for themselves, and they're trying to make sense of what is happening in the political space with what they have. Now, if that information is not truthful, you distort people into sometimes even voting against their own interests, and that is very dangerous.
And then also, I think I empathize with the shapers of information, of campaigns. Is infinitely easier previously, Jimmy, when you were more involved, to channel information, established media, mainstream media, 3 stations, you're channeling and programming. Now from all sources, somebody could derange the message, upturn a certain information path, and so it's almost impossible to control. You have to battle against it, and everybody is a media outlet. Everybody becomes a media outlet. The influencers are crazy, the fake pages, the party pages, and so it's just so difficult to channel the information and then ultimately clearly there's a demographic, particularly the under 30s, under 35s, you might argue, who depend on that social media and less inclined to go to mainstream established media. So it is really a riot of competing, not conflicting, but competing information channels.
There was something I was very worried about this election, and unfortunately we did not see much of it, and that's artificial intelligence. And the use of artificial intelligence to not just completely distort, but present a new reality entirely. I mean, what you can do with artificial intelligence now is mind-boggling. You know, to recreate or create a new persona for someone and have them saying things in a voice that sounds like theirs. But you know,
them this morning.
Right, but by the same token, Teddy, I distinctly remember my parents telling me of an election. It's a pity that they both passed, so I can't get the definite source. But of a rumor being spread at the very last minute during an election campaign that one of the candidates had passed, and people actually, and they said to them, so that actually took root, and a lot of people did not vote because they thought that the man had, and there's no way to verify that he had passed. If I tell you a day before, and you're living in, and even in Castries, and this has nothing to do with the rural community, that this person has died, you don't have radio, you don't have anything, how do you know that person has died? So I'm telling you, so luckily that can be counted now because information is so readily available. But the converse of that is that you can create information, so you could create a new truth, a new reality. So that is something, and like I said, I was very worried about what artificial intelligence, how it would have been used in this election. Fortunately, maybe they didn't have the time to do it, at least the purveyors of mischief. But it is certainly something that we have to look to.
There's also a bit of exhaustion with AI slop. Like sometimes when you see a video, you immediately get an icky feeling about it. There's something off, right? I think people are becoming much more attuned to be able to make that sort of distinction between,
And Teddy, there's also Edwin. There's also another issue that I saw today. I mean, I went to vote, and I was asked to surrender my phone, surrender my smartwatch. I said to them, I don't have a smart wallet, but I surrendered my wallet also. And all of this is to prevent me from taking a picture of the way I vote. However...
And you didn't take out the ring?
No, well, I didn't take out the ring. I am wearing the smart ring, but I can't take pictures with my smart ring. But my glasses. You could be wearing Meta or any other glasses, and you could go in there and just do this and take a picture of the... Now, unfortunately, the people who are manning our elections have not yet been told that. But how do you now tell me if I'm wearing smart glasses, but I need the glasses to see, that I need to take my glasses out to vote? But if I take my glasses out, I can't see to vote. So these are all things that now, because of technology, we will have to find a way to factor into our politics.
We're looking at, as you say, waiting now for the first set of results to come in. They are due very shortly as we get the data coming in from electoral office from the different places. Your experience in the elections, Jimmy, many make the point that from your agents, you do get a sense very early how you shape up in the election. In other words, there is a great propensity of persons to gravitate towards the colors, the agents' colors of who they're supporting. What, during your campaign and elections experience, was the indicator you used most to get in an early sense?
Well, I never went up for elective politics, so I only have to depend on what the colleagues of mine in the St. Lucia Labour Party, which I was in, would tell me. So I think there are two things, Teddy. It's not just the people where they gravitate, but you are also supposed to know your voter, because the way you win an election on election day is getting out your vote. You don't just go and bring anybody out to vote. You go and you bring your supporters out to vote. So your 100 yards people, the people who you have in the polling station, because when you go to vote, there you see people there dressed in red and you see people there dressed in yellow. Those are the respective agents of the parties. They, in crossing out, they would have an indication, okay, Jimmy Fletcher has come to vote. There is a very strong possibility, I suspect, that Jimmy Fletcher voted for the Green Party. So I cross as far as I'm concerned, the Green Party has just gotten a vote. Edwin St. Catherine is coming, but I'm not sure where Edwin is, So, and you also should know, if Teddy comes in, who's Teddy voting for? So you're not just taking count of your supporters, but also of also the opposition, and you tally that with your 100 yards people. So you get it's your kind of exit poll of how your vote has come out. And also, you are supposed to have a good ground game, and you're supposed to get your people out so that you know how many of your people you've gotten out, because you are supposed to do a mock-up by around 4 o'clock. You check, okay, boy, I haven't in this particular box, a lot of my voters haven't seen.
In the jargon, the bank votes.
Yes, exactly.
We go into some reports. We always like to bring the actuality from early in the day. Grozile, Babono, we also have Castries North, Castries East, Central, and also we feature the special arrangements made in certain of the areas for the persons with special needs.
Bon après-midi, cette ici, après nous communauté laguer Babono. Après ça, je vais parler by assistant poll clerk, mademoiselle. Oui. Mademoiselle Zasha Charles. Bon, Mademoiselle Charles, dis-nous, comment vous avez commencé bon matin?
Well, bon matin, passé bien. Nous avons commencé à aller. Moun sorti dehors pour venir voter. L'année, c'était polling station qui était plus passé l'autre, mais nous avons managé et pour à présent, nous just ni pas chay comme un bon matin. Oui.
So, vous voulez dire un chay moun te vini bon matin avant de aller travailler?
Oui, la tenue plus bon matin, à présent, il just flowing.
Okay. La tenue pièce désagrément, désordre, tout été allé bien?
Non, pièce désagrément, tout été allé bien. Nous pas tenir pièce problème. Pour à présent, tout allé bien. Nous pas ça rien. About cut that. Yes. Pour à présent, nous pas ça nous ni pièce problème, tout allé bien. Oui.
Okay. So, plus tard, les gens qui quittent le travail, ou quoi la kay ni chay moun qui kay vini encore?
Peut-être, moi quoi, because à présent tout le monde a taille, so moi kay quoi that tout le monde kay vini après taille pour venir voter.
Avant 6 ans?
Oui, avant 6 heures.
Okay. Merci, Mademoiselle Charles, pour parler avec nous. Après ça, moi vais parler by madame qui vient voter, et que moi vais juste demander une petite question. Nous vais demander en anglais et qui vais répondre en créole. What motivated you to come out to vote this year?
Moi, je viens voter parce que je moins vote.
C'est ça seulement?
Oui, c'est ça seulement. Pour actuellement.
Ok. So, là, où venez, c'est un bon lait, la panier chay moun, la panier?
Je monte un travail avant, je viens.
So, vous pouvez half day?
Oui, je peux half day.
Ok, wonderful. All right. Merci pour parler, Bano. Moi, je vais parler et puis candidat là pour Babono, Monsieur John Paul Estefan. Monsieur Estefan, comment est-ce aujourd'hui?
Oh, moi, très bien. Moi, j'ai passé tout partout, visiter toutes ces polling divisions et bagaille regarder très bien pour nous.
So, what stood out to you most about the campaign leading up to today?
Well, the government has done an outstanding job, and then everybody recognizes that our Prime Minister, our leader, Philip J. Pierre, he's the man ready to lead St. Lucia again. And I believe when the results are counted, then the people of St. Lucia will give him a very decisive mandate going forward, managing the affairs of the state.
How are you feeling at this stage of the process?
Well, I've always been confident. The Labour Party has done very, very good work. I am well grounded in the community, and the people of Babono, they support me well, and I believe that they will show that in when the results are counted.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Merci bien, merci beaucoup, Monsieur Stéphane, and of course we're looking forward to results later.
Okay, merci Achai. Bien bon, enjoy your day.
Bon après-midi, cette Lucie. Après, nous, Babono toujours, mais nous, Barbono Catholic Church, the Barbono Primary School, and the Barbono Catholic Church. Right about now, we're speaking with our candidates from the United Workers' Party, Mr. Titus Preville. And of course, Mr. Preville, just tell us how has the atmosphere been like from your perspective as you've been visiting the various polling stations?
Well, from the turnout this morning and up to this point, we've just gone past almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. People have demonstrated a level of commitment to casting the vote. The process has been fairly lengthy, and there are a couple of things in my view that has led to that. In the case, for instance, of the polling division, the polling station in Balata, that is the Balata Combined School. There are only 195 or there are about 180 something persons on the voters list cast to vote there. And a number of people in Balata therefore have come to Barbono to vote. And we have had, between Barbono primary and secondary, you've had a number of persons therefore waiting for inordinate lengths of time to cast their ballot. And the second thing which has led, in my view, to the fairly lengthy delay is, and it's understandable, but there must be a way to make it more concise, is the explanation that the presiding officer is duty-bound to give the voter in terms of instructions on what is involved in the voting process. So it could take up some time depending on the level of understanding of the person. So that is, in my view, one of the issues. So in the future, it's obvious to me that a more electronic system type of voting would make life a lot easier. We are not yet there. But I think between an overloading of certain polling divisions with many people and an underrepresentation of people in other, at least in the case of Balata, has, in my view, led to some delay. But the atmosphere has been one, I believe, that is characterized by people determined to exercise their franchise.
Mais comment est-ce que ça t'est aujourd'hui?
Moi, même moi, j'ai toujours senti comme ça, relaxed. La pandémie de bagarre qui a fait moi pas relax parce que comme moi aller dormir en place bon Dieu. I sleep in the Lord's arms. I go to bed there. Moi lever côté moi avec Lila. Alors la pandémie de bagarre sur la tête qui a fait moi te casser moi parce que confiance moi c'est un Dieu.
Okay. Well, merci, Mr. Preville. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Okay, so right now we are closing up at the Barbono Primary School, where the Barbono Catholic Church is as well. And of course, right now I'm speaking with Assistant Polling Clerk Malik Athanase. So Malik, tell us, how has the voter turnout been so far?
It hasn't been bad, it started off slow, and then gradually, given the different time intervals, people came in bit by bit, and it simmered down after a while, and then
Any challenges with, keeping the flow of the line and keeping the process to go smoothly?
I mean, you had one too agitated, patriots, people impatient, people not knowing where to go, who to consult, so, they were agitated, some people were cooperative, but, all in all, everybody did what they had to do, and it went smoothly.
So there wasn't that rush this morning before people went to work?
Yeah, there was that rush. Those were the agitated ones, but eventually, we sorted certain things out. We ensured that they were satisfied with the service, and it ended positively.
So you're looking forward to that after work one?
After work one.
Yes, and he's taking a deep breath.
I didn't take time to think about that, Hopefully it's not much, because I feel like this morning we had a big turnout. There was a large number of people, and I guess now, given the time, is calm down. So hopefully later on, it's not as hectic as it was this morning.
All right. So another question for you, as far as people around your age range, can you tell us that you saw a lot of young people around your age range coming out to vote?
Surprisingly, I saw one or two. But not much. But I see you have one, two people who have one or two concerns, I guess, politically, one or two young persons, which is nice, which is thoughtful. But not really, not that much. But hopefully in future there will be more to actually come out and make a decision for what's best for the country.
And probably they went to the other polling stations in Babono.
Probably.
All right. So thank you very much for speaking with us, Malik, and of course, hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
All right, no problem. It's a pleasure. You as well.
Thank you. Bonjour, c'est Lucie, and of course, welcome to this historic day, December 1st, 2025, Election Day in St. Lucia. I am your host, Ika Fergus, representing GIS for today, and I'm outside polling division A1, which is the Groves Lake Primary School. Now, the atmosphere right about now is very calm. I guess the rush has already passed, but the polling officer, who is Mr. Hilton Okilier, will give us, a little more detail on what has happened so far. Hi, bonjour, Mr. Okilier.
Bonjour, bienvenue.
Okay, so Mr. Okilier, tell us, how did the opening of the poll go this morning?
This morning we started on time, 6:30. My staff, both polling poll clerk and assistant and agents, were sworn in by 6:05, and we were ready. We started receiving our very first person who was already waiting. At 6:30 sharp. Our G2I has been steady but not rushed. Presently there's nobody there. There's a lull right now, but we have had no challenges, we have had no issues, we have had no disturbances.
Wonderful. So can you say there was like a big rush this morning because persons wanted to vote before they go to work?
There was a line, but not in G2I.
Okay.
But I could see it around, but we haven't been flowing steady.
Wonderful. And of course, any challenges managing any lines?
So far, from my advantage point where I can see a few lines, I can see there's still some people, but we don't have any challenges so far. Yes.
So looking forward to continuing the process until 6 p.m.
We're anticipating after work that we'll get the line having a backlog, because people who probably did not do it this morning, when they come in after work, they will continue to exercise their rights.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hilton Okelia, who is the polling officer, or one of the polling officers for polling division A1 at the Groves Lake Primary School. Right now, we are at polling division A1D, which is the aquatic center. And of course, this polling station covers the areas of Molave, Rodney Heights, and Larry Twett. Right now, I have the assistant polling clerk, Miss Nicola Alexander, with me. And of course, she's just going to answer a few questions briefly while we have people coming in. So, Miss Alexander, how did the opening of the poll go this morning?
Well, it was very early this morning. We had to be here for 5. When I came, everyone was setting up. So it went well. It went relatively well this morning.
Okay, were there any delays? Any challenges?
No, we didn't have any delays, any challenges. We started on time. Persons were here very early, so persons were able to come in and vote. So it went really smooth this morning.
All right. So I suppose the turnout. How has the turnout been?
Well, it started very busy this morning, early morning. So maybe around 9-10 o'clock, it started to get slow. Persons started trickling. Until now, persons are starting to pick up. So it's been fluctuating.
Okay. So you're definitely looking for that other bigger rush about probably after work.
Yeah, that will be a big rush. I anticipate there will be much more persons here after work.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Miss Alexander, and of course, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're still here at polling division A1D, which is the aquatic center, and right now I got a chance to speak with two observers from the British High Commission, Miss Quantrill and Miss Zimbani. Welcome, ladies. How has it been so far? How many places have you visited?
Well, it's been good so far. We've been through the Babono constituency. We've been through Union, Babono proper, Laguerre, Moshi, and now we're here in the Aquatic Center. It's been very well organized, very well put together. People, different communities have different feelings, atmosphere. Moshi especially had very lively atmosphere. However, it was pretty quiet, pretty stable. It's been good so far. Okay. Good to know.
Wonderful, because we're heading to Babuna right now after we speak to you ladies, so most definitely. And you, Miss Quantrill?
I've been really impressed with the election so far. You know, it's been very calm, it's been very peaceful, people have been very respectful, but it seems like people are turning out in great numbers, which is great to see.
All right, so thank you very much, ladies. I know you have to continue observing until 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so
and watching the election result with everyone else in the country, I'm sure.
So ladies, do enjoy the rest of your day, and I know you still have a lot of ground to cover, so looking forward to the best. Okay, thank you.
It's election day right here at polling division A1C, and this polling station covers the areas of Rodney Bay, Monjuro, Ridgeby, and Ridgeby Orchard. Speaker again representing GIS for today, and of course I'm speaking with Assistant Polling Officer Shoma Victor. Now Shoma, how did the opening of the polls this morning?
This morning, the opening of the poll went very well. We were ready, and of course, yes, persons were here from 4:30. They arrived before us. They were scheduled to arrive at 5 o'clock. Okay, 5 a.m. this morning. We opened this morning we were supposed to open at 6:30. There was just a slight delay, but everything went well. The lines were very economical, but gradually, probably kind of calm down. Right now, they're watching the lines. Persons who are standing there with the surnames from D to G. Okay, so apart from that, persons from A to C come, they go. All the others coming, it's just that the D to G, because of the mountain surnames in that area.
Welcome back as we get our first set of results for the coverage on election 2025. Riser Joseph, you have the first set of results?
For Rush Clark, we have 60 votes. That is Swasat. Stanley Felix, 7. That is Set. Richard Frederick, Swasat 6, that's 66, and Andrew Matthew 2, that's a D. So repeating, Rush Clark 60, Stanley Felix 7, Richard Frederick 66, and Andrew Matthew 2. So these are the early numbers of votes for the Castries Central constituency. Castries South, the opposition candidate Tommy Descartes has 59 votes. Ernest Hilaire has 155, and David Hurd has 2. So again, Tommy Descartes 59, Ernest Hilaire 155, and David Hurd 2. We're just going to scan through to see if there are any others that have popped up. But so far, we have for Castries Central once again. Oh, Castries North. Castries North has been populated now. For Stephen Favre, 48. Howard Witt, Stevenson King, 97. Catriven is set. And Master Steed, the independent candidate, has 1 vote. No votes tallied yet for Gina Matthew. So Stephen Favre, 48. Stevenson King, who is the incumbent, 97. Gina Matthew has not registered any votes as yet, and Marcella Steed 1 vote.
And we need to say that that's in C2. That's in C2, the Patricia James Secondary School, P to SM. That's the box, the ballot box, P to SM. That's yes. So that's what Ricer just gave there.
Go back. Right on the earlier ones, Central and South.
1 second. So for Castries Central again, Rush Clark had 60, Stanley Felix 7, Richard Frederick 66, and Andrew Matthew 2.
South again.
And that's 1 box.
Which box?
1 box.
What box it is in?
Not as yet.
Yeah, I'll get that for you.
So then we're going to South.
Castries South. Tommy Descartes has 59. Ernest Sile, who is the incumbent, 155, and David Hood, the independent candidate, has 2. And I think we also had, these are the early numbers for now.
Yeah. We're seeing in Central, who's running so far between Rush Clark, the 2 established parties, Rush Clark and Richard Frederick. Richard Frederick from within Rush Clark, BWP an independent, Richard Frederick, 66 to Richard Frederick, and 60 to Rush Clark, and 7 to Stanley Felix in that constituency. And we have 2 to the new party, Matthew. And we also have in South Castries South, Ernest Hilaire, incumbent from the Tunisia Labour Party, 155, Ernest Hilaire, Tunisia Labour Party, 155, and 59 for Tommy Descat from the United Workers Party.
And 2 for the
third independent candidate, Hood.
And that was in the Lacroix Mengo School, F3 for Ernest Hilaire. That is the box G to K. Lacroix Mengo School, Hess School, F3, G to K. That's the result that came in. 59 to Descat, 155 to Hilaire, 2 to Hood, and there were, I think, 3 rejected.
Yeah, and that's about 5% of the voting population is where those votes are coming from in the case of Castries South. So, it's still, fairly early.
You see, the figures represent the area?
No, the area the votes are coming from represents 5%. Right.
The area the Labour Party has done well in Lacroix Mengo.
Yeah, but relatively less well than the other areas within Castries South. So that is actually one I really, if this is completed early, I would want to see if Ernest Hilaire does better or worse than his performance of over 20% in the last election, right?
The figures from last election in that area?
Yeah, well, from the last election, he won that area by about 20%, right? And the margin of that F3 Lacroix Mengo is now 44% in his favor. I'm saying this is not, you don't write home about that yet, because that may just be one specific case.
And not representative.
Yeah, it's not representative as yet, because, yeah.
The battle, and we're just trying to identify where, in fact, in which box did the Roche Clark, which
I can give that to you. That is in E1, the Carmen Rennie Memorial School, A to E.
Yeah.
A to E. Sorry, A to G. It's A to G. It used to be A to E the last slide. Carmen Rennie, so see A to G. Richard Frederick 66, Roche Clark 60, Stanley Felix 7, Matthew 2. That is where that number is.
The South Sea School, as we call it, in the heart of the South Sea area.
In the heart
Carmen Rennie
yeah.
School, 60 and 66. The battle interested with the results would in fact come flooding in.
What it shows, however, Teddy, is that there are fewer people. There are fewer people who voted this time around, because the last in that particular box in 2021, Richard Frederick got 153 votes and the UWP got 111. This time Richard Frederick got 66 and the UWP got 60. So we're seeing a quite significant reduction.
Well, is it complete yet? That box?
It's A to G. It's A to G.
Okay,
so I'm talking about the equivalent box in the last election.
Okay.
Which actually, this box actually represents a few more people, because you have F and G where you did not have that the last time. So at the box level, this is certainly fewer votes being cast in this election than were cast in the 2021 election.
It looks like about less than half.
Yeah, less than half.
Let's go back to Riser. I'd like to double check that. That is really drastic.
I'm a little. I think this is.
Whenever there's an interference or variation in the inclusion.
You think that's alphabetical, because the last time it was A to E. This time it's A to A to G.
Yeah. So there are more people voting. There are more people voting in that box. There are more people voting in that box. Yeah.
I would still reserve that seems so
I would
reduction.
be a little bit.
Interesting observation. Let's
see how the others pan out. But
that would be
well, I think you could be conclusive for that box. You can't be conclusive for the polling division. But certainly in that box, fewer people turn out to vote. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's look again, Riza, at the La Clery area, Patricia James Secondary School. The figures that we got.
That's for Castries North. We have.
Ram looks to see if any new figures coming through.
No problem.
We have some in Soufrière.
Okay, let's go to Soufrière.
All right. So we have at the moment 53.
Soufrière?
53 for the incumbent Emma Hippolyte, and for Herod Stanlisas 83. So 53 for Emma Hippolyte and for...
And to say where that is, right, so it's in H2, Soufrière Infant School, R to Z.
That's in
R to Z. Yeah, H2, R to Z.
83 to Stanislas and 53 to Emma Hippolyte?
Yes.
And one rejected.
Right. They're happy they've improved, Jimmy.
Yes, one vote rejected, yes.
One vote rejected. So we're going over that again. Persons joining all the time and taking their own notes. We've been asking for us to just repeat it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Go ahead, right on.
That seemed to have been similar, similar to the trend in that box
last year,
as 2021.
What were the figures last time?
Although it was not exactly the same.
Let's say what we had the last time.
The same range of names, right? But the last time we had 44 SLP and 75 UWP.
Pretty much.
Kind of trend.
Yeah, it's kind of trendish.
Not too dissimilar.
Yeah, it's not too dissimilar.
In that area, in that particular.
Well, actually, the deltas, the SLP is getting, I think 9 more votes, and UWP 8 more votes.
Right.
So it's almost the same thing. Almost the same thing.
In that box.
It's true to form. True to form.
Castries North again, Riza.
Going back to it.
Dennery South, eh?
You have Dennery South?
Yeah.
Dennery South, Varo. Dennery South, Riza will give us Dennery South.
Momentarily just scanning through.
For Dennery South, you want to go ahead. Benson Emil 33. Benson Emil
give the polling division rhyme.
03.
Yep. Benson Emil 03, 33 votes, and Paul Alfred Prosper 45.
Wait again, go over it again.
Benson Emil 33 and
S to Z.
S to Z.
Paul
03,
Alfred Prosper 45.
That's Glendon Mason.
And unfortunately, Teddy, 12 rejected votes.
12.
Wow.
The difference between the two parties.
Go again, Ryan, with that Dennery South, please.
Yeah, so we have Benson Emil with 33 and Paul Alfred Prosper 45, which we know is Alfred Prosper.
I must say that in this case, it does appear that Benson Emil has underperformed.
Okay.
Compared to 2021, where the UWP received 51 votes, they now have 33. And the SLP, Prosper, received 45
last time.
This time, and the last time 50.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So yeah.
He dropped too.
He dropped by 5, but UWP dropped by 18.
Significantly more.
Yeah, by 18.
I wonder if that,
Beaufort South.
that
We have votes for Beaufort South.
Go right on. Beaufort South.
Beaufort South for Danny Butcher. We have 91.
Again, right, so say the polling division, because people want to know where that is
It
happening.
has not popped up on my screen yet, which is why I have not shared it as
Where's
yet.
that?
Okay.
Beaufort South.
Beaufort South.
Yes. Beaufort South, we have 91 votes for Danny Butcher.
Okay, that's the Beaufort Infant School, E to I. Beaufort Infant School, E to I.
David Charles, more popularly known as Appa, the Independent, has 1 vote. Liana Johannes Paul, 44 votes. Shua Melcho, 2 votes. So Danny Butcher, 91 votes. David Charles, better known as Appa, colloquially, an independent candidate, 1 vote. Liana Johannes Paul, 44 votes. And Shua Melcho, the other independent candidate, 2 votes.
Yeah.
91.
And definitely you see a drop off in the UWP performance there from 61 in 21 to 44 right, this time around, whereas the SLP drop-off was just about 5 votes and not as significant. So there's a sort of a...
SLP dropped from 96 to 91, you saying?
Yeah, from 96 to 91, and UWP 61 to 44.
Those just join in, let's emphasize the Beaufort South again. But we have a new result.
91 to Danny Butcher, David Troy Charles 1, Liana Johannes Paul 44, and Shua Melchor 2.
We have from Babano. We have Babano B1B A to Z, the Balata Combined School, John Paul Estefan 50, Titus Preville 27. John Paul Estefan 50, Paul Leo Titus Preville 27.
Which one is that again?
Now we have
updated data. We have 3 boxes now.
Which one is that? The one you just called? No, which one?
is Balata?
That's Balata.
B1?
That is, yes, B1B.
That's A to Z?
Yep.
What is it again? Sorry?
It was 50 for John Paul Estefan and 27 for Titus Preville. But we have also some updated data from the Debara Combined School before A to Z with John Paul Estefan with 123 and Titus Preville with 161.
Repeat the figures.
So Debara Combined School A to Z 123 for John Paul Estefan and 161 for Titus Preville.
161 is the total number of votes cast.
Not yet.
Just review that.
Yes, you're right, Mr.
Yes,
Senkaffing. Apologies.
exactly.
So Titus Preville under the Debara Primary School, Combined School, 37 votes.
Right.
37 votes, not 161.
And how much? And how much for
and
Estefan?
John Paul Estefan 123.
Right.
You have the total.
So we have a total. So
Rizal now gives the total from Babano.
So from the 3 boxes that Rahim just called out, John Paul Estefan has 353 votes, Twasa Seka Twa, and Leo Titus Preville has 141 votes. Yon Sekawat Yon. So John Paul Estefan 353 and Leo Titus Preville 141.
Teddy, that result in Debara is a significant one.
Yeah.
Because 123 for John Paul Estefan.
Yeah.
The last election he got Virginia got 69.
69. Wow.
And the UWP candidate got 61.
Right.
Titus Preville has gotten 37. So the St. Lucia Labour Party has increased its vote number there by 54, and the UWP has gone down by 24.
Wow.
So that's a significant result, and that is a box.
a bellwether.
It's a bellwether.
That is a bellwether.
That box is a box that was even and has kind of, if I'm not mistaken, has kind of remained even. In 2011 it was 78 to 71. In 2016 it was 66 Labour, 77 UWP. So there's a definite gap that has emerged in this election that was not there in any of the previous elections in Debara. That's a definite move towards the Labour Party in Debara.
We have some from Miku North.
The margin was only
Miku North, N4, the Miku Primary School, J to L. N4, the Miku Primary School, J to L. You have Elisha Norbert with 61. And the incumbent Jeremiah Norbert with 68.
Okay, so
that is the Miku Primary School, J to L, which is within N4.
And there, it's almost a mirror image of the last election. The UWP is polling the same number of votes, 61 that it got the last time, and Jeremiah has gotten 2 more votes than he got the last time.
And
so
it's a relative stronghold of UWP. Even last year with the swing, it remains
68 now, 2 more,
very loyal to you.
and then the same amount. 61 for the UWP.
Same number of votes.
Relatively, it has been a good area, strong area for UWP even up to last election. Go ahead, Rachel.
Yes, so it is 61 Swasat Yon for Elisha Norbert, Swasat Wit for Jeremiah Norbert. Our independent candidate is yet to register votes. Let me see if there are any updated figures for our other constituencies.
We've seen the constituencies are taking shape so far. Of course, great interest. People are messaging like crazy. They want Grozy Lake.
As soon as we get them, we'll let you know.
We're anxious. Everyone wants to hear from their constituencies. That coming up very shortly. As we got Central, we got South.
I think this looks like we had one box for Central, right?
Right, yeah.
It's now updated. So Rush Clark now has 102 votes.
Which again, where is that, Raisa? Where?
The total.
I'm giving the grand total.
Oh, the grand total.
So we'll disaggregate in a moment.
Right.
Stanley Felix has 21, and Richard Frederick, the incumbent, 168. Andrew Matthew has 2 votes.
That's the total so far.
The total so far.
All votes that we've received.
Yes, so let me disaggregate.
Do the total again?
Yeah.
Central Castries once again. Rush Clark 102. Yonson Day. Stanley Felix 21.
That's in E5. And go ahead.
So is that in a particular box or is that the total?
Probably a particular box.
Is that a box, Edwin, or overall? The updated.
164 overall from E5 and from E1 136.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you can break down the 136 from E1 into 60 UWP 66. Independent Richard Frederick.
So let's get the total we have so far for Central Castries.
The total for Central Castries is 300 votes cast.
Right, and what the respective figures, Raisa? The public can be clear on that. The figures we have so far.
Just updated again.
Okay,
so yeah.
Yes, it's updated again. So
the totals, right? We're giving the total.
198 Rush Clark, Stanley Felix 31, Richard Frederick 317, and Andrew Matthew 5.
Okay, and for those people who want to know what the trends are, E1 Carmen Rene A to G, Stanley Felix 7, Rush Clark 60, Richard Frederick 66, and Andrew Matthew 2. In the Anglican School, E2, A to E, Rush Clark 56, Stanley Felix 7, Richard Frederick 96, Andrew Matthew 2. That same polling division, E2, M to R, Rush Clark 40, Stanley Felix 3, Richard Frederick 53, Andrew Matthew 1. So that is, then we go down to E5, the RC Boys Infant School, E5, R to Z, Rush Clark 42, Stanley Felix 14, Richard Frederick 102. I do not believe Andre Matthew got any votes.
We have some new figures, this time from Grozile. Kenson Casimir 93, Marcella Johnson 42. And that's in one box. I think Dr. Fletcher will disaggregate what box that is for us in a while. So Kenson Casimir 93, Marcella Johnson 42.
So we've been getting results from 9 of the constituencies, and of these, the SLP is leading in 8. All right.
That box.
Just to clarify.
Yeah. What Raisa just gave there was A1A, the Grozile Primary School, M to O. A1A, M to O, Kenson Casimir 93, Marcella Johnson 42, 30 rejected ballots. 30 rejected ballots.
And how that compared to the last election? You have an update?
I think Babano also has an update. We have 4 ballot boxes now counted.
In Babano?
In Babano.
The total so far, give them the total right.
John Paul Estefan 451 votes, and Leo Titus Preble 179
It's actually updated now, Raisa.
Wow.
It's 583 for John Paul Estefan and 245 for Titus Leo Preble.
We have some
583 for John Paul Estefan and 245 for Titus Leo Prevel.
We have some from Beaufort North.
Okay, I have an update on that also. It's, it's 861 for
God.
John Paul Estefan and 360 for Leo Titus.
Repeat them figures, repeat them.
For the whole constituency of Babonneau, there are 832 votes cast. Oops.
No. That's the total per candidate.
Just the totals per candidate?
Yes.
So B3.
No, the totals, so far.
Oh, okay. So I have 861 for Estefan, and for Prevel,
245.
I have 360.
360, so
Yeah.
you probably
Repeat
updating
it,
later.
just declare. Repeat the totals you have.
The totals I have for Babono at this point, 4 boxes, from 4 boxes, 861 for John Paul Estefan, SLP, and I have 360 for Leo Titus Preville, UWP.
Right.
Viewford North?
Viewford North.
Yeah. So in Viewford North, L2, the Piero Combined School, MO. So Viewford North, L2, the Piero Combined School, M to O. You have 112 votes for Moses Jean-Baptiste, and you have 44 votes for Calix Ian Xavier.
Which one is that
So
again?
that is L2, the Piero Combined School, M to O. 112 votes for Moses Jean-Baptiste and 44 votes for Calix Ian Xavier.
We also have data from Castries East from 1 ballot box. Peter Chico, 14 votes.
Which one is that, right, sir?
Castries East.
Castries
Which
East.
box?
I have to fill in.
Castries
Shortly, I will
East.
give you that update. Philip Joseph Pierre, 109 votes. So Peter Chico, 14 votes. Philip Joseph Pierre, 109 votes. And for the Gozele constituency, we have an additional ballot box added. So we have 2 now, and the count for Kenson Casimir is 173 votes.
And
Marcella
78.
Johnson, and 78 for Marcella
Correct,
Johnson.
yes.
Would that still be in Grozele?
Yeah.
That's Grozele.
Still Grozele. Grozele town.
The ancillary has. I'm not sure if we've done ancillary before, have we?
No, we
have not.
Okay, so for ancillary canneries, we have the Millet Primary School G2A with results from A to I. You have Dominic Fede, 59, and Wayne Gerard, 55. So the Millet Primary School G2A, A to I, Dominic Fede, 59, and Wayne Gerard, 55. You also have in the Tet Shime Human Resource Center, A to I, the Tet Shime Human Resource Center, 8 to I, 68 for Dominic Fede, and 86 for Wayne Gerard. So 68 for Dominic Fede and 86 for Wayne Gerard. So that gives us a total at this point of 127 votes for Dominic Fede and 141 for Wayne Gerard, being ahead by 14.
Yeah.
Give me those numbers again for the Millet Primary School A to I, please, Ryan.
Yeah. So for A to I for the Millet Primary School, you have 59 for Dominic Fede and you have 55 for Wayne Gerard.
And Tet Shime A to I was.
And Tet Shime is 68 for Dominic Fede and 86 for Wayne Gerard.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
What's the comparison in just a bit?
Well, the comparison is that the numbers are down. Well, no, it's not possible to compare Tet Shime because Tet Shime, where in the last election we had A to Z, they've broken it up to A to I and J to Z. So we'd have to wait for J to Z to come in to get an indication of what's happening in Tet Shime. But where A to I is concerned, where the SLP vote is 59 and the UWP vote is 55, the SLP vote has gone down by 64. No, again, that's not correct because again we had A to Z, so that has also been broken. So it's too early to tell for either one of these 2 polling divisions what is happening.
We have some figures for Denry North.
Denry North?
Yes,
You want me to go ahead with this one?
I will give the grand total and you will break down what box that is.
So do you want me to do that first?
Go right ahead.
Okay. So in Denry North, we have P5, that's the Olio Combined School. H2L, you have 102 for the incumbent, Sean Edward, and you have 96 for Bradley Marcel Fulgence. You have 102 for Sean Edward and 96 for Bradley Marcel Fulgence. That is the Olio Combined School H2L.
Okay. Sean has basically kept his numbers. He's gone up by 6, and the UWP has gone down by 11.
Yeah, that seems to be a national thing.
Olio is an area where UWP normally performs well in Olio.
We have some Castries East. I'm not sure if we've done it as yet.
We did one.
Olio is usually a bellwether. Olio is kind of has been even the last 2 elections.
No,
there's not been much to separate.
Traditionally,
Used to be traditionally, but the last 2 elections has been even.
For Soufre.
Okay, and also Castries South.
You have some more numbers?
Let's do Soufrière. We have an update for Soufrière, Raisa?
Yes, I'll give the total by Rahim gives us the box. Emma Hippolyte, the incumbent, has 201 votes. Herod Stanislas, 246 votes.
Okay, so Rahim, can you give us that breakdown?
Yeah, tell me which one we had previously.
We've had Soufrière Infant School.
Okay.
That is R to Z. We've had that
okay,
one.
So that
That's
means this is Soufrière Primary. So in Soufrière Primary, H1, SO to Z.
Right.
70 votes for Emma Hippolyte and 91 for Herod Stanislas. So 70 votes for Emma Hippolyte and 91 for Herod Stanislas, which provides Herod Stanislas with an overall lead of 45 at this point.
So
yeah, but what in that box H1 is more UWP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, by about 13%, and those specific name ranges. Emma has actually outperformed in those specific name ranges, even if overall the Soufrière
H1 is the strongest UWP polling division in
Definitely.
Soufrière.
We have three boxes now. We have some updated figures for Mikud North. While Rahim goes to the breakdown, I'm going to give the grand total of what we have thus far for free ballot boxes. Elisha Norbert, 186 votes. Jeremiah Norbert, 296.
Repeat the overall, repeat it.
So Elisha Norbert, 186. Jeremiah Norbert, 296.
Overall.
Okay. So give us a breakdown, Rahim.
So the breakdown for the Miku North constituency, N2, the decommissioned Monrepo RC Combined School, A to E, Elisha Norbert 61 and Jeremiah Norbert 100. So that's 61 to Elisha Norbert and 100 to the incumbent Jeremiah Norbert. I think we've done the past year's combined school.
No,
we've not.
No.
Okay, so the past year's combined school also has some information that is N3 J to L. So you have 64 for Elisha Norbert and 128 for Jeremiah Norbert.
We want to jump to Castries Southeast.
Okay.
Southeast.
Jawara versus Guy Joseph.
So the total, and I'll allow Ryan to
I
do
can
the
get
breakdown.
disaggregated for you.
Lisa Jawahir, 206 votes. Guy Joseph, 168 votes. That's out of two ballot boxes, and Rahim will provide us with what these ballot boxes are. Lisa Jawahir, 206 votes. Guy Joseph, 168 votes.
So you have here in the Castries Southeast constituency, Q3, the Bexor Primary School, Q3, Bexor Primary. In N2R, Lisa Jahir, 60, and Guy Joseph, 62. That's the Bexor Primary School, Q3, Lisa Jahir, 60, and Guy Joseph, 62. You also have in Q6, Badishose Preschool. You have A to E, 146 for Lisa Joahir and 106 for Guy Joseph. So that brings the total up to 206 for Lisa Joahir and Guy Joseph with 168.
Give me that number again, please, Ryan.
The total?
No, for Badishose.
Okay, so for Badishose, you have A to E, 146 for Lisa Joahir and 106 for Guy Joseph.
Okay, so that particular A to E, Lisa Jawai has increased the SLP numbers there by 11, and Guy Joseph has gone down from his 2021 number by 27. So Lisa has gone up by 11 on what Joachim Henry got, and Guy has gone down by 27 from what he did the last time.
We have also for Denry North some updated figures. P1 from the Grand Riviere Senior Primary School, A to D. You have the incumbent Sean Edward, 101, and Bradley Marcel Fulgens, 75. So Grand Riviere Senior Primary, A to D, 101, and Bradley Marcel Fulgens, 75.
Okay, and that is a polling division that has gone basically neck and neck. The last election, it was very close. There was a difference of 4 So in this case, Sean Edward has increased his number by 27, although it is A to D as opposed to A to C the last time. So the boxes don't entirely align, but the UWP vote has gone down by 12.
There's also Denny Revere as well, Dr. Fletcher. So Denny Revere combined school P to 3, Sean Edward FR to JON 133, and Bradley Marcel Fulgens 69.
We have some updates for Castries North, I believe. We have 6 ballot boxes now in terms of our count. I'm going to give the total, Ryan, so that you can go into disaggregation.
That's where?
Yes.
Castries North?
Castries North. Brenda Endwid has 4 votes. Stephen Favre, 281 votes. Stevenson King, 585 votes. Gina Matthew, 2 votes. Marcella Steed, 2 votes. So I'm going to repeat. Brenda Edwin, 4 votes. Stephen Favre, 281 votes. Stevenson King, 585 votes. Gina Matthew, 2 votes.
Okay, so
Marcella Steed, 2. Go right ahead.
No. So what I'm asking Ryan to do, because I have not taken the numbers down. So Ryan, I need you to go from the very first one that we have for Castries North down to tell me where we are with these numbers.
Okay, so we need to go back to Castries Comprehensive Secondary School, C1B, under D to G. Stephen Favre, 63. Stevenson King, 95. No votes to Jenna Matthew.
Right.
And 2, well, none also for Marcella Steed.
None. Oh, okay. And same thing with Brenda Edwin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go down.
You also have to P to Z under that same place, that's C1B, Castries Comprehensive. 63 votes for Stephen Favre, 111 for Stevenson King. No votes as well for Jenna Matthew, as well as Marcella Steed.
We have some updates for Castries South.
Hold on.
While after you populate this one.
Funny, we haven't gotten anything from it.
And give me the other. What's the other one in Babonneau?
No,
Ryan?
you mean Castries North?
Castries North, sorry.
Yeah.
Castries
You
North.
have the Mondador School, which is under E to F, that's C4.
Right.
You have 3 votes for Brendan.
Which ballot box?
That is, let me get it for you, E to F.
E to F,
Yeah. So you have 3 votes for Brenda Edwin. Right. You have 33 votes for Stephen Favre.
Yeah.
And you have 103 votes for Stevenson King. You have no votes for Jenna Matthew. Yeah.
Okay.
And also no votes for Marcella Steed.
Okay.
I think that brings us up to 585 for Stevenson King, ahead by 304 to Stephen Favre's
I seem to be missing one because I only have 406, but we'll get that sorted out. Yeah, let's go to
We
the
have
other
some
one.
updates for some of our constituencies. First of which I will give is Castries South. Tommy Descartes has, and as a grand total so far out of 5 ballot boxes, 314 votes for Tommy Descartes, Ernest Hilaire 678, and the independent David Hood 10 votes. So Tommy Descartes 314, Ernest Hilaire 678, and David Hood 10. In ancillary canneries, we also have updates now for 4 ballot boxes. Dominic Fede 294 votes, Wayne Girard 342 votes.
Ready?
And Soufriere as well, we have some updated figures now from 6 ballot boxes. Emma Hippolyte 517 votes, Herod Stanislas 492 votes. So these seats are very closely contested at this time.
We have from Choiseul. Yeah.
Yes.
Choiseul.
So we have some first votes coming in from Choiseul. So people from Choiseul don't believe that we've forgotten them.
Yeah.
So you have from the Delsec Combined School, which is I1. From A to E, you have 96 votes for Keith St. Charles, and you have 172 votes for Bradley Felix. You also have from L to R, 70 votes for Keith St. Charles, and 97 votes for Bradley Felix. So 70 votes for Keith St. Charles and 97 for Bradley Felix.
Do we have anything else for Choiseul?
For Choiseul, that is what we have. That puts Yeah, that is what we have at
So,
this.
and that's why,
Even for Suzel,
yeah.
seen some underperformance by the UWP.
And that's why it's important to look at a polling division level,
Yes.
because I1 is a very strong UWP polling division, and I1, Delse Kamai, that's what you were talking about earlier on.
Yeah.
So if you look at the vote this time around A to E, the St. Lucia Labour Party has increased its number in that box by 32, and the United Workers' Party has gone down by 17. And the same thing with L to R. The St. Lucia Labour Party has increased its number by 30, and United Workers' Party has reduced its number by 26. So a key to victory, for example, if you're a Labour Party candidate, is to reduce on the damage that is done to you in Delse, which from these preliminary results...
And I understand that Kiso,
And for the UWP,
is from that area.
Oh, I don't know where he's from. I don't know where
No,
he's
he's
from.
not.
No, I don't know.
for the UWP, they would want
They want to run up their numbers. They want to run up their numbers in Delse because
wants to get
Well,
maximum.
they're not doing as well.
they're not doing as well.
We have some Babano, some a huge increase here from Babano.
Okay. Where is that?
Where did we go to Babano Primary earlier?
Babano Primary, no, we haven't had anything from Babano.
Eight
Alright, so let me
boxes
give
in
you
now.
let me give you Babano Primary. So in Babano Primary B1A and the H2L,
Yeah.
you have 127 for John Paul Estefan and 98 for Titus Preville. You have one rejected ballot. Right? So 127 for John Paul Estefan and 98 for Leo Titus Preville. We also have some information from the Balata Combined School. I think we didn't do this earlier, did we?
It depends. Balata combined. Yes,
Only
we
has
have A to
one.
Z.
Okay.
Yeah, we have that.
Okay. We have some as well.
No, let's look at the numbers because we need to see
Okay.
what those numbers, how they're looking for.
What else we got?
Yeah.
Do you have anything for B1C, Union Orchid Garden?
No, but I have for Bogies.
Bogies, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Bogies is,
So
yeah.
in Bogies Combined School A to I, we have 132 for John Paul Estefan. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we have 66 for Leo Titus Preville.
And again, Titus is underperforming there. That's
Yeah.
39 fewer votes than he got the last time, and
not
3
him,
more
but-
votes for the St. Lucia Labour Party. So that's an underperformance there by Titus from what happened in 2021.
Yeah.
So an overall figure for the 8 ballot boxes before you go any further,
Yeah.
John Paul Estefan has 987 votes to Leo Titus Preville's 470 votes. So leading by 517 votes.
That's massive.
We have Foasaw.
We have
Combined School.
Foasaw.
Yeah, Foasaw.
And that is a very strong
That is
Labour
strong
constituency.
Labour.
Yeah.
All right, then
Polling
that-
division.
then
So
that will
let's,
explain.
let's see those numbers.
That will
Let's see those
explain. All right,
numbers.
so the Foasaw Combined School, you have, that's B5A, folks. C to E, 168 for John Paul Estefan, 70 for Leo Titus Preville.
Okay.
F to I, 98 for John Paul Estefan, 38 to Leo Titus Preville.
Give me the Estefan numbers again.
98 and 38 for Leo Titus Preville.
Okay.
You have under J to K 109 for John Paul Estefan and 57 for Leo Titus Preville.
Okay.
And then you have under R to Z 180 for John Paul Estefan and 77 for Leo Titus Preville.
We're going to go to Grosile in a little while. And to update the other constituencies, we have not forgotten about your constituency, St. Lucia. We know that you are concerned. We're going to go through. So we're going to go to Grosile, where we have 5 ballot boxes now counted. All 5 ballot boxes counted. For Kenson Casimir, in total, we have 480 votes. And Marcella Johnson, 251. So again, Kenson Casimir, 480 votes, and Marcella Johnson, 251. So ahead by some 229 votes.
The Babylon Secondary School also has some more information. I don't know if we've
Okay, so
covered it.
Let's do some other.
Let's get those numbers in Grosile. Where are they coming from?
Constituency update, so
Yeah.
come up.
So in Grosile, where we've not done the Grosile Primary School, have we?
No, let's do some updates, some total of the other constituencies.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, so for Castries Central, we have some updated because now with 8 ballot boxes counted, Rush Clark has 781 votes. Stanley Felix has 58 votes. Richard Frederick 618 votes.
I think that it's updated already.
It's updated already.
Yeah. It's updated with Richard Frederick having 834 to Roche Clark's 445 and Stanley Felix 81.
Yeah.
So there was an error there.
That was an error then.
Oh no, just refresh.
There was an error on the page.
Okay.
So please repeat those figures for me.
So St. Lucia Castries Central, Richard Frederick 834, Roche Clark 445, and Stanley Felix 81. Richard Frederick 834, Roche Clark 445, and Stanley Felix 81. We apologize for any confusion. You could understand that it's coming in very, very rapidly.
The page actually showed the numbers previously, so perhaps they updated the figures.
While I was talking.
So repeat the present update.
Slightly so for now.
Okay, let's go.
Can you give us those numbers again?
Right.
For Central?
Yes, so Castries Central, Roche Clark 445, Stanley Felix 81, Richard Frederick 834, and Andrew Matthews 6. So Roche Clark 445, Stanley Felix 81, Richard Frederick 834, Andrew Matthews 6. The incumbent is leading by 389 votes thus far.
Yeah, so far we have not heard from Micoud South or Labrie, right? And so far, of all of the seats, the other seats, the SLP is leading in every single one except Swazel.
Okay.
And the boxes that came in for Swazel are in a predominantly UWP area.
We didn't get the figures to indicate that SLP is ahead in Soufriere. Did we get the updates on that?
We have to check Castries South as well.
We'll go check now.
Yeah, but let's check on Castries South as well.
Yeah.
Tommy Descartes has a total of 456 votes.
Because I can't.
Ernest Sile 922 votes. David Hood, the independent candidate, 11. So again, Tommy Descartes 456 votes. Ernest Sile 922. David Hood 11. So the incumbent is leading there by 466 votes.
Yeah, it's important for us to get the disaggregated figures because
Yeah.
that's the only way you could tell what the trend is. Because these numbers, you don't know what's happening.
So we're going to pop into that.
Where do you want the trends for?
Well, let's start from the beginning. Let's start with Gros Islet. Let's see what we have for Gros Islet.
All right. So in Gros Islet, we've done the Gros Islet Primary School.
Gros Islet Primary, no.
Okay, so good. So Gros Islet Primary A1A under MO, you have 93 for Kenson Casimir and 42 for Marcella Johnson.
Okay.
93 to the 42, and you have 30 rejected ballots.
Right.
All right.
Let's go on.
We're moving also to the Darren Sammy Stadium, A2B.
Right.
You have 178 to Kenson Casimir.
That's A to C.
Charles.
A to Charles to E. Charles to E. Okay.
178 for Kenson Casimir and 45 to Marcella Johnson.
Okay.
You also have M to P under Darren Sammy Stadium, which is 150 to Kenson Casimir and 51 to Marcella Johnson.
Okay.
Have we done the Grand River Infant School?
No.
Grand River Infant School, A3B, Leo to Matthews, 119 for Kenson.
That's what polling division?
That is A3B.
A3B, okay.
Leo to Matthews, 119 for Kenson Casimir, and 83 to Marcella Johnson.
Okay.
So give a grant to the.
Well, am I missing anything for A to B, Rhyme? For no. So okay. So A to A, the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. What we're seeing here is Kenson Casimir basically holding his own. Again, the numbers, the boxes are slightly different, but we are seeing what looks like Kenson Casimir keeping his vote, because you'd expect the same thing. If the boxes change, you'd expect to see the same thing. And Marcella Johnson reducing on the numbers from the last time.
Okay. For the benefit of the public, I know that the public wants to hear the total numbers before we disagree. So I'm going to start from what our data shows us from top to bottom. So every constituency is included. So again, the total so far for Kenson Casimir, 955 votes. Marcella Johnson, 403. That's for Grosley. For Babonneau, so again repeating for Grosley, Kenson Casimir 955, Marcella Johnson 403. For Babonneau, John Paul Estefan 1,309 votes. Leo Titus Preville 839 votes. So the SLP candidate is leading by 470 votes. In Castries North, we have 6 votes to Brenda Edwin, 545 votes to Stephen Favre, Stevenson King 986 votes, Gina Matthew 5, Marcella Steed 11. So the incumbent is leading there by 451 votes.
And that's with 10 ballot boxes out of 30 counted. So one third of the ballot boxes have been counted.
Yes. Castries East, the UWP candidate Peter Chico, 119 votes. 119 votes. Philip Joseph Pierre, 496 votes. The incumbent ahead by 377 votes.
With 5 ballot boxes out of 33 counted.
Yes. Again, we would have already given the update for Castries Central. We're going to give it again. Castries Central, Rush Clark, 445 votes. Stanley Felix, 81 votes. Richard Frederick, 844 votes. Andrew Matthew, 6 votes.
With nine ballot boxes.
9 ballot boxes out of 24. We go to Castries South. Tommy Descartes, 456 votes.
566.
Ernest Hilaire.
It's updated now. 566. Tommy Descartes 566.
It's updated?
Yes. And Ernest Hilaire 1184. Independent 11. Ernest Hilaire leading by 618 with 9 ballot boxes counted out of 23. Tommy Descartes 566. Ernest Hilaire 1184. Independent David Heard by 11. Ernest Hilaire is leading by 618 votes.
Yes. Ancillary Canries, we have Dominic Fede, 510 votes. Wayne Girard, 640 votes. The incumbent is leading there by 130 votes. That's 7 ballot boxes out of a total of 23. We go down to Soufrière, Fonse Jacques.
We could South have votes, huh?
We're going down. We're going down. We're not forgetting anyone. Soufrière, Fonse Jacques, Emma Hippolyte, 775 votes. Herod Stanislas, 640 votes. So again, Emma Hippolyte, 775 votes. Herod Stanislas, 640 votes. Strozel Saltibus, Keefson Charles, 244 votes. Bradley Felix, 328 votes. The incumbent is leading there by 84 votes.
With only 3 ballot boxes counted, and I think 2 of these ballot boxes are in Delsey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Labrie, we got some figures from Labrie. Alva Baptist, 186 votes. Laura Japierre, 60 votes. That's 1 ballot box counted out of 17. Alva Baptist, 186 votes. Laura Japierre, 60 votes. We go down to V4 South in particular. Danny Butcher, 1,101 votes. David Charles, 6 votes. Liana Johannes Paul, 329 votes. Shua Melchor, 6 votes. So the SLP candidate there is leading by 772 votes.
With 8 out of 24 ballot boxes counted.
Yes.
One third?
One third. V4 North. Moses Baptiste has 503 votes.
It's now 629.
Okay, let me update my page. Sorry about that. 629 votes for Moses Baptiste and 217 votes for Calix Xavier. Again, Moses Baptiste, the incumbent, 629 votes. Calix Xavier, 217 votes. The incumbent is leading by 412 votes. In Micoud South, we finally have some figures coming in there. Alan Chasney, the incumbent, has 404 votes.
Mostly from Tiroche.
Tiroche area.
Yeah.
And the challenger Chandali Harak Singh has 167 votes. These are 4 ballot boxes out of 19. So 404 votes to Alan Chasney, the incumbent. Chandali Harak Singh, 167 votes.
Yeah.
We go to Micoud.
The performance in that case is actually a little weaker than 2021, right?
By the UWP?
By the UWP, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to continue with Micoud North. Elisha Norbert has 479 votes. Jeremiah Norbert, 605 votes. Again, Elisha Norbert, 479 votes. Jeremiah Norbert, 605 votes.
6 out of 18.
That's 6 out of 18 ballot boxes, and the incumbent is leading by about 126 votes for our count right now. In Dennery South, Benson Emil has 112 votes. Benson Emil has 112 votes. Alfred Prosper, 187 votes, and these are 2 ballot boxes out of 14. In neighboring Dennery North, Sean Edward has 824 votes.
975.
It's been updated.
It's coming fast and furious.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Updated figure, Sean Edward,
You have your finger on the pulse.
yes, 975 votes to Sean Edward. Bradley Fulgence, 776 votes. These are 8 ballot boxes out of 20.
Edwards is up by
199.
199 votes.
Interesting to see where.
And Castries South East, Lisa Jawahir has 306 votes to Guy Joseph's 263 votes. These are 3 ballot boxes out of 36.
Where these are.
So it's still
You want
early
to
figures.
go to Dennery North and see where these are?
No problem.
No, I want to go to Castries Southeast.
Southeast. All right, so let me go to Castries Southeast for you. So we've done the Bexar Primary, have we? Yeah. We've done the Bexar Primary. So we've got the Otsa Combined School. Let's look at the Otsa Combined School. So in the Otsa Combined School Q7, M to P, Lisa Joahir, 100 votes to Guy Joseph's 95. Lisa Joahir, 100 votes to Guy Joseph's 95.
That's it. So the numbers were 306 to 263? Is
Yes.
that what it was? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So Lisa Joai has increased by 14, and Guy Joseph has increased his number here by 3.
Okay.
Yeah. And in the Badu Shose preschool, Lisa Joai increased the number by 11, and Guy Joseph went down by 27.
Right.
So those are some of the numbers we're seeing.
That's a seat that SLP would have already won.
Yeah.
Right. So you're looking at
Before.
it compared to something where they were.
And
already
Badu Shose, we're talking about places like Cooleytown, Formager, Lakwamengo, Badini. That's that area there.
Let's go. Update.
I'm going to refresh it.
So let's see here.
Total.
Casimir's total, Kenson Casimir, Grozile, the total thus far is 1,000, sorry, Freudian slip, 1,535.
Okay.
Kenson Casimir, 1,535. To Marcella Johnson, 653. So Kenson Casimir is ahead by 882 with 12 out of the 63 ballots in Grozile.
Can we interrogate Miku South a little further? Ryan, give me those numbers by polling division and ballot box in Miku South.
So for Miku South, yes. So for Miku South, we have on the M2A, the Tiroche Multipurpose Center. You have the leader of the opposition. Which
box?
That's A to B. A to B. 108.
Yes. 108
to Alan Michael Chasney, and the 38 to Chandelier Harrison.
Okay.
Yeah. You also have on the H to L, you have 100 to Alan Chasney, to 59 by Chandelier Harrison. You have on the M to R, 110 to Alan Chasney, to 51 by Chandelier Harrison. And you have finally on the S to Z, you have 86 to Alan Michael Chasney to Chandelier Harrison's 19. That brings the total, ladies and gentlemen watching, to 404 for the former Prime Minister Alan Chasney, 404 to Chandelier Harrison's 167, ahead by 237.
We have some updated figures again too from Grozile. We're going to take it from the top again because we are constantly being updated. So if our numbers change, ladies and gentlemen, it's just because we're getting updated figures. Kenson Casimir has a total of 1,863 votes. Marcella Johnson, 848 votes. This is 15 ballot boxes out of 63. So the incumbent has a lead of about 1,015 votes.
How many boxes?
In 15 ballot
of?
boxes out of 63. So that's 23.8% of votes.
Yeah, going back to that Mico South data, Teddy, M28 Tiroshe Multipurpose Center, which is a very strong United Workers' Party polling division. What we're seeing here, and that's not with everything in, there's one ballot box, C2G, that is missing, but the UWP's number is down by 150, and the Labour Party's number is down by 27 from the last election. So the United Workers' Party is underperforming in its strongest polling division in Mico South. Which is a little ominous for it, because not only is that its strongest polling division, but it's also one of the three most populated parts. The only polling division that has more electors than that is Deriso and Lucia, where the Labour Party has not done badly. So that is a little ominous for the United Workers' Party and for the leader of the opposition for those numbers there.
So we do have some updates in the Babonneau constituency, for example. We have 16 ballot boxes out of 33, so we're almost approaching 50%. John Paul Estefan has 1,785 votes. Leo Titus Prevail, 1,200 votes. So John Paul Estefan is leading by 585 votes in Babonneau.
Do we have any data for Laguerre? B2A and B2B?
Yes.
Because that would give us an indication. Those are very strong UWP polling divisions, and that would give us an indication of how Titus Prevail is polling there.
The only thing we have for Laguerre, Laguerre Combined School, well, we have Laguerre Combined and Laguerre Community Center.
Yes, yeah, B2A.
So
and
I will
B2B.
give you Laguerre Combined. So Laguerre Combined is B2A. And we see here J to K.
Yeah.
You have 79 for John Paul Estefan to Titus Prevail's 133. So you have 79 for John Paul Estefan to Titus's Prevail 133.
Okay.
When we go to the Laguerre Community Center under L to O, which is B2B, you see 75 for John Paul Estefan to Titus Prevail's 92. You have under P to R 63 for John Paul Estefan to 68 for Titus Prevail. That's 63 and 68. You also have S to Z, which is 73 for John Paul Estefan to 91 for Titus Prevail.
Okay, so in Laguerre Community Center, John Paul Estefan has increased the Labour Party vote by 51. Titus Prevail has reduced the United Workers' Party vote by 28. So, that's why it's very important to interrogate these numbers, because it gives you an indication of in the respective parties in their strong polling divisions, how they're doing.
We've had Foaso?
I don't think we've had Foaso, because Foaso is a very... Yes, we have Foaso.
We have Foaso.
For John Paul Estefan is pulling away. The numbers we have is 555 to Estefan and 242. Do we have more than 4 polling boxes showing there? Ballot boxes showing there, Rhyme?
Only 4 for now.
So okay.
We have some updates from Castries East as well. We have some updates with 8 ballot boxes in about a quarter of ballot boxes for Castries East. Peter Chico has 207 votes. Philip Joseph Pierre, 822 votes. The incumbent, 615 votes ahead.
Can we... sorry, Raisa, go ahead, sorry.
No problem. So again, Peter Chico, 207 votes. Philip Joseph Pierre, 822 votes. The disaggregated, yes.
Yes, so that's what I was asking.
Yeah, so we're going to go to it.
Quickly, whether there's any update, Castries North, before we go back to...
Castries North, one second. I want to refresh.
Well, there are updates. Kenson Casimir ahead by 1,093 now, folks.
With how many ballot boxes showing?
We have 18 ballot boxes out of the 63. 2,111 for Kenson Casimir to Marcella Johnson to 1,018. You're going ahead with some other?
I was just told that Keefson is from Lirish. So Keefson is Lirish, yeah, okay. in Choiseul. So thank you, thank you, Curly.
So Castries.
You want to disaggregate Castries East?
Go ahead.
So Castries East, yes.
So let's disaggregate Castries East, folks. So you have have under Castries is the Entripo Secondary School.
D2.
A to B. 48 for Peter Chico. And 112 for that's Entripo Secondary School. 48 to Peter Chico, to 112 by the Prime Minister, well, incumbent Philip Joseph Pierre.
area used to be a strong, UWP stronghold. Philip has succeeded in reversing the last few elections.
Certainly.
You also still have folks,
like now.
T to 7, the Entripo Secondary School again.
T to Z.
T to Z, sorry. I wonder whose name has 7 as part of it. T to Z, Entripo Secondary School, 17 for Peter Chico, and 105 to Philip Joseph Pierre.
Okay.
You also have the Bishop Charles Gachet RC Combined School. D4. You have 36 to
which box? A?
Box A. 36 to Peter Chico, and 113 to the incumbent Philip J. Pierre. You have under P to R, 29 for Peter Chico, and 122 to Philip J. Pierre. And lastly, T to Z?
T to 7, yes.
T to 7. 11 from Peter Chico to 92 to Philip J. Pierre.
We need to go down, so I want you to go into Castries South. Well, I give you the updated figures. We're now over 50% of
Castries South.
Yeah, Castries South. 12 ballot boxes out of 23.
Wow.
So Tommy Descat has 720 votes. Ernest Hille 1,552 votes. David Hood 13. Again, Tommy Descat 720 votes. Ernest Hille 1,552 votes. David Hood 13. So the incumbent leading there by 832 votes.
Okay, Ryan, can you give me that breakdown?
So
for Castries South?
I can give you that breakdown for Castries South.
The only one I have already is F3 Lacroix, G to K. I don't have anything else.
Good. So let's look at F1, which is the ferry terminal building, Fort Castries or Bannon. And Bannon. Let's look at C to D. So in C to D, you have Tommy Descat with 60 and Ernest Hilaire with 123. You have E to G, 65 for Tommy Descat to 134 for Ernest Hilaire. H to J O R, 84 for Tommy Descat to 122 for Ernest Hilaire. And you also have JOS to L, which is 52 for Tommy Descat to 116 for Ernest Hilaire.
Okay.
You have also, I don't think we've done the Cicero Combined School yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
So let's go to the Cicero Combined School. You have under E to F, 58 for Tommy Descat to 146 for Ernest Hilaire. You have under K to MONE, 58 to Tommy Descat to 122 to Ernest Hilaire. MONG to Q, you have 61 for Tommy Descat to 125 for Ernest Hilaire. And T to Z, you have 28 for Tommy Descat to 109 for Ernest Hilaire.
Now, shortly after your interjection, Jimmy, we want to go to the West Coast because we're getting some updated figures because the contest is very...
Particularly Suffrage was...
yes. But before that, ancillary canneries, and then we're going to go down.
Okay. You don't want me to close off Castries South?
No, we'll come back.
Okay.
We'll come back.
So
that's why I've stayed away from my phone.
Ancillary canneries, we have Dominic Fede with 941 votes to Wayne Girard's 1,041 votes, 11 ballot boxes out of 23, so we're almost approaching the 50% mark, with the incumbent leading by about 100 votes. In Soufrière Francais Jacques, Emma Hippolyte has 1,081 votes to Herod Stanislas's 948 votes. So that's 10 ballot boxes out of 22. One second. Out of 22, 1 second. I need to reload quickly. So again, Emma Hippolyte, 1,081 votes. Herod Stanislas, 948 votes. So the incumbent ahead by some 133 votes. In Choiseul, Keefson Charles has 640 votes against the incumbent 574 votes. So the challenger now ahead out of 6 ballot boxes by some 66 votes. So very closely contested in Choiseul, Saltibus, Kingston Charles, 640 votes, Bradley Felix, 574 votes. I'm going to go down to Vieux South as well because I see some updated numbers. I believe for Danny Butcher, we have 1,407 votes. David Charles, 7 votes. Liana Johannes Paul, 391 votes. Shua Melchor, 6 votes. So the SLP candidate, Danny Butcher, is ahead by 1,016 votes. Again, for
That's almost an insurmountable number right now.
Therefore North, Moses Baptist, 950 votes. Takalik Xavier, 336 votes. Moses Baptist, 950 votes. Takalik Xavier, 336. So the incumbent leading there by 614 votes. We have 7 ballot boxes out of 17. So about 41% of the votes cast so far. In Micoud South, I want to just make sure I have the updated figures.
I think that's one of the most keenly viewed races, that Micoud South race.
Micoud South.
Yeah.
So the incumbent, the opposition leader Alan Chastney, has 1,248 votes. Chandali Harak Singh has 761 votes. These are 11 ballot boxes out of 19. So we're pushing 60% of the votes so far. Alan Chastney ahead by 487. 487. So we need to break down that particular seat for sure.
Yes, please.
Which one?
Micoud South.
Micoud South.
I need to know where these votes are coming
So I'm going to
from.
repeat again for the benefit of our viewers. Alan Chastney has 1,248 votes. This is the incumbent. And Chandali Harak Singh, 761 votes. The incumbent leads by 487 votes. These are 11 ballot boxes out of 19. It's missing to really give us the full picture of what the result will be there.
So you want me to?
Yes, go
So
ahead.
I need you to give me Micoud South, Sofran, Choiseul, those three.
So let's go to Micoud South, folks.
Yes,
Auger Secondary School. We haven't done theirs yet. M3A, A to I. You have 164 for Alan Chastney to 92 for Chandali Harak. You have K to Z, 173 to Alan Chastney to 115.
That's J to Z?
That is, let me just verify
Auger?
again for you. Auger, that's K to Z. K to Z. All right?
No, it's if it's Auger M3A?
Yeah. K to Z.
No, it's okay.
I don't know where the J
because
has.
so they've slipped J. Okay, there are no Johns or Josephs in.
Probably. We might have to.
I think it's J to Z. I think
probably,
there's no way there can be no Johns and Josephs.
No Josephs, exactly.
I mean, you and Rice don't exist.
Exactly. I might have to move to Auger. But folks, on a more serious note, the M3A Auger Secondary School,
we have those.
K to Z, 173.
And 115, we have that.
And 115.
Anything for Deriso combined?
Yes, we have Deriso M3B, the Deriso Combined School. J to MA, you have 108 for Alan Chastney to the 78 of Chandali Harak. And you have MC to SP, which is the 102 of Alan Chastney to the 78 for Chandali Harak. You have ST to Z, 90 to Alan Chastney to 48 to Chandali Harak. And we've done Blashan already.
Okay, so that's all we have?
Yeah.
So that's 578 to 1041 or something like that? Is that what the numbers are showing?
No, 1,278 to Alan Chastney,
Okay, so I'm probably
761.
missing. Do we have any for Blasha? For Blasha M3C?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Okay, so you have 71 to...
Which ballot box?
So you're looking at PE to Z.
Yeah.
71 to Alan Chastney and 120 to Chandali Harak.
Yeah.
And that box is a strong Labour box. PE to Z. Labour did very well in that box the last election.
Okay.
The figures?
PE to the last election, the Labour Party in that box got PE to Z. No, it wasn't the same. It was S to Z, but it's 76 to Labour and 46 to UWP in the last election.
UWP is probably.
Yeah, Labour went up a little bit more than UWP went up in that box. Anything else? So do we have anything for DIGA? DIGA Human Resource Center, M1?
Yeah, nothing yet.
Nothing for DIGA. Nothing for Lacouville, M2B?
No, we have nothing for Lacouville as yet.
Okay.
We want to flip in a while to the East Coast for benefit of our viewers.
50% of the votes are in for Mico South.
Yeah, so let's flip to the
Babano?
To the East Coast.
For the East Coast.
So yes, so Mico North, Elisha Norbert has 618 votes, Jeremiah Norbert 856 votes. So Elisha Norbert 618 votes, Jeremiah Norbert 856 votes. So the incumbent leads there by 238
You
votes.
want to know how much
Eight
of-
ballot boxes out of the 18.
How much of past year's money reporting?
Yes, so 44% of the votes cast so far.
So you want us to go to Mico North?
Mico North, in a while.
After Rice has given us all the updates.
So Dennery South, Benson Emile, 322 votes. Alfred Prosper, 398 votes. That's 4 ballot boxes out of 14. So the incumbent leads there by about 76
That's
votes.
the smallest constituency.
Yes. And Dennery North, Sean Edward, 1,204 votes. Bradley Fulton, I think I said this earlier on, 1,010 votes. We have
No update there?
That's an update, I believe, but it's really half of the ballots counted. We have 50%.
Bradley's not doing too badly in that constituency.
So Sean Edward, 1,204 votes.
So far.
Bradley Fulgens, 1,010 votes so far. Incumbent leads by 194 votes. 10 ballot boxes out of the 20, so 50%.
We'll have to see where those boxes are.
Yes. So I'll allow
Where do you want me
Ryan.
to, folks, where do you want me to go to?
I'm not sure if
That's
it's
the same
updated.
total, yeah.
Same total, yes. So we're going to go to I think
Where do you want me to-
So, Ryan, let's
Mico North. Mico North. Let's see.
Mico North. Let's see where the votes are.
Let's go to Mico North. Where have we covered this far?
So you've given me the former Monrepo Combined School,
The decommissioned
A to E,
one?
the decommissioned one,
So
A to E.
you want F to JN
I
for
would
there?
certainly like that one, yes.
Let's go to F to JN. You have 58 for Elisha Norbert, and you have 109 to Jeremiah Norbert.
Okay.
You also that's all we have right now for the decommissioned Monrepo RC combined school.
Past years combined, N3?
Yep.
I have D to L already. Anything else?
You have D to I as D to I. You have GL.
No, I don't. I don't have D to I.
All right, let me give you D to I. So D to I, you have 81 for Elisha Norbert and 142 to Jeremiah Norbert.
That's where? Where's that?
That is
Passios.
the Passios combined school. You also have M to R, 80 to Elisha Norbert, 120 to Jeremiah Norbert. We've done J to L, you said, right?
We don't have S to Z.
No, we don't have
Okay.
anything for S
Anything
to Z
else?
now.
Anything
we have
for
the
N4,
Mico
Mico
primary.
primary?
We have the Mico primary.
I have G to L.
N4.
Right.
A to C. Done.
No, give me that.
A to C, we have 96, a very close contest here. 96 to Elisha Norbert, to the 95 for Jeremiah Norbert. And the J to L, you have 61 for Elisha Norbert, to the 68 of Jeremiah Norbert.
So basically, we're seeing almost a mirror image of what happened the last election.
Yeah.
I wish to jump to Cashry Southeast, and then we're going to go back to the north because we have some updated figures.
Great. Let's have all
Cashry-
the updates, yeah.
So Cashry Southeast, I think we have an additional ballot box, which brings us to 6 out of 36. Lisa Jawahir has 669 votes. Guy Joseph, 511 votes. So again, Lisa Jawahir, 669 votes to Guy Joseph's 511 votes. So the SLP candidate there leading by 158 votes so far, 6 out of 36 ballot boxes. And I want to go also to
North again.
the north because we've got some updated figures for both Grozile and Babano. In Grozile, Kenson Casimir, the incumbent, has 2,619 votes to Marcella Johnson's 1,260 votes. He's ahead by 1,359 votes. And we also have in Babano, John Paul Estefan, the SLP candidate, with 2,317 votes to Titus Preville's 1,620 votes. About 21, 43. So we go with 64% of the votes are in.
And he's ahead by 697
votes, about 700 votes.
How much of force have we gotten?
We'll have to see. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Babano, you want to look at Foaso?
Well, let Raisa give the rest of the updates.
through it. But
If
we
they
have
any more
I'm
updates.
not updated. Let me just check again to see if there are any updates for us. I don't think
So it's almost complete. Huh?
Yeah,
I don't think we've gone to Castries. Have we gone to Castries North in a while yet? I don't think so.
No, we haven't.
So in Castries North, again, Brenda Edward has 7 votes. Stephen Favre has 882 votes. Stevenson King, 1,642 votes. Gina Matthew, 11. Marcella Steed, 17. The incumbent leading there by 760 votes.
With half of the ballot boxes.
Half of the ballot boxes counted, 15 out of 30.
Yeah.
I'm also going to check in the Castries East constituency. Peter Chico has 488 votes. Philip Joseph Pierre, 1,693 votes. 15 out of the 33 ballot boxes counted. The incumbent leading there by 1,205 votes. I am going to see, I don't think there's any update as yet for Castries Central. So these are the Castries South. I want to give an update because we are about 65% of the votes so far. Tommy Descartes, 945 votes. Ernest Hille, 1,942 votes. David Hood, 15 votes. Incumbent leading there by 997 votes. So we can disaggregate these as we go along.
Has the ancillary canaries figure been updated, Raisa, from the last one we
I
gave?
don't think so, and I think we have updated figures, so let me just reload again. Dominic Fede has 1,223 votes. Wayne Girard, 1,392 votes. 169 votes ahead for ancillary canaries.
And Emma Hippolyte is leading right now by 136 votes, so it's 1,163. Yeah, we'll have to go down. We'll have to do the breakdowns.
You want where exactly do you want the breakdown?
I want the West Coast ancillary canaries, then Soufried and Choiseul. So give me a sec. Let me get to ancillary canaries.
Give me a sec. Let me get to
Okay, so give me ancillary canaries.
Where don't you have?
I don't have G1 Roseau Combined. You have anything there?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So G1, folks, Roseau Combined School. You have Cox to E. You have 91 votes for Dominic Fede to 89 for Wayne Girard. You have F to I, 89 to Dominic Fede to the 102 from Wayne Girard. You have J, 105 for Dominic Fede to 95 from Wayne Girard. K to P, 109 Dominic Fede, 101 Wayne Girard.
All Roseau?
Yes.
All Roseau. R to Z, 128 Dominic Fede to 103 Wayne Girard. We're only missing one box from Roseau Combined, which is the A to COR box.
And I can tell you what has happened there is that with A to COR missing, the Labour Party's vote is 57 less than what it was the last time, but the UWP's vote is 188 less than what it was the last time. Anything for Millet Primary? Well, we already have Millet Primary. A to I. Anything for J to Z?
Yes. So Millet Primary, J to Z, 87.
Fell by 10%.
A to 87 to Dominic Fede to 77 for Wayne Girard. So Millet Primary is done.
And again, Wayne Girard has increased the number by 13. UWP is roughly the same, just 2 less. Anything for the Christian Faith Assembly, G2B?
Yes, we do.
You know where they're located?
Christian Faith
That's
Assembly.
Van and Derado.
So you have G2B, Christian Faith Assembly, A to G, 105 for Dominic Fede to the 74 for Wayne Girard.
Okay. Nothing for H to Z?
Nothing for H to Z as yet.
Okay. Tetchime?
Yes.
We have Tetchime. We have J to Z?
We have J to Z.
What's J to Z?
So J to Z for Tetchime, 76 to Dominic Fede to the 112 from Wayne Girard.
And you know what we don't have yet? Canaries.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Both canaries are ancillary.
We have
ancillary.
We have ancillary.
Okay, give me some ancillary numbers.
For ancillary, we're only missing 2 boxes, folks. But we have A to CHU, 85, right? 85 to Dominic Fede to Wayne Girard's 130.
Okay.
You have CI to F. We don't have anything there as yet.
Okay.
G to JN, nothing as yet. JO to MC, 77 for Dominic Fede to the 115 for Wayne Girard.
Okay.
52 to Dominic Fede.
That's what, ME to P?
That's ME to Q.
To Q. To
Yeah.
Q. Yeah. Uh-huh.
52 for Dominic Fede to 106 for Wayne Girard. R to 7, 92.
R to Z.
R to Z. I don't know what it is with me and this 7 tonight. R to Z, 92 for...
That's coded.
92 for
Dominic Fede. To 147 for Wayne Girard, and we have nothing from Canaries as yet.
Okay, so this is not looking good for Dominic, because with Canaries not coming in, and Canaries is an area where the St. Lucia Labour Party did very well in the last election. I think it won there by 200 and almost 300 votes. 260 something. My math is failing me. 269. So that does not. Those figures don't look good for Dominic Fede at all, because there are not enough boxes remaining for Dominic Fede to be able to pull that margin in.
We have some updated figures for Chosel Salty, but also very closely contested and watched it. So we have an additional ballot box. Keith St. Charles, 792 votes. Bradley Felix, 673 votes. So 7 out of the 25 ballot boxes. Keith St. Charles, 792 votes. Bradley Felix, 673 votes. So the challenger, the SLP candidate, is ahead by some 119 votes.
Okay. So Raim, I need you to go through and give me everything you have there, because all I have for Chosel is Delse.
Okay.
So I need you to go through and give me everything to get a sense of what's happening in Chosel.
Okay. So let's go to Chosel. So you have everything for Delse, or you have?
No. I only have 2 for Delse. I only have A to E and L to R.
All right. So let's look at S to Z for Delse.
Yeah.
You have 67 to Keith St. Charles and 92 to Bradley Felix.
Okay.
Yeah. You have Magouj Infant. Only M to Z. 181 to Keith St. Charles to the 67 of Bradley Felix.
Okay, so these numbers are ominous, because you see, in Delse, what has happened is that Keith St. Charles has been able to contain the damage that the United Workers' Party normally does there.
Significant.
Yeah, his numbers, and what has happened is that the UWP has not polled as well. They are quite short of the number of votes that they would normally get, even if F2K to bank in that stronghold. Yeah, so let's go down, Raim, Chosel secondary.
Chosel secondary. So Chosel secondary, we have F to L, 152 to Keith St. Charles, to 99 Bradley Felix. And then you have S to Z, which is 78 to Keith St. Charles, to 59 to Bradley Felix. And then we don't have anything else. Well, we have PI combined. Sorry, folks from Chosel.
Yes, give me PI.
PI combined school, A to I. We have 148 for Keith St. Charles to 87 for Bradley Felix. And that's all we have for PI combined school.
Yeah, and it's consistent. What you're seeing is Keith St. Charles increasing or at least maintaining the last vote, but Bradley Felix certainly underperforming from what he did the last election. Yeah.
We have some updated figures from the V4 South and North constituencies. V4 South, Danny Butcher continues to lead. He has 2,182 votes. The independent candidate David Charles, 9 votes. Liana Johannes Paul, 642 votes. Shua Melchor, 9 votes. So the SLP candidate, they're leading by 1,540 votes. And we have 15 out of the 24 ballots, 63% in of the total votes. We fought North, Moses Baptiste, 1,062 votes. Khaled Xavier, 445 votes. The incumbent leading there by 617 votes. That's 8 ballot boxes out of 17. 47% of the vote in there. I'm just going to check. There's an update actually for Micoud South as well. We have 15 out of the 19 ballot boxes. Again, almost 80% of the vote there. Alan Michael Shastney has 1,750 votes. Chandali Harak Singh, 1,189 votes. The incumbent Alan Shastney leads there by 561 votes with a balance of 4 ballot boxes left to be counted.
Gentlemen, I don't know when you do what the arithmetic, Mr. St. Catherine, is when you call seats.
You declare.
The Castries South also here, 18 ballot boxes been counting out of 23, with the incumbent Ernest Hilaire 2,446 to Tommy Descat to 1,157, with Ernest Hilaire ahead by 1,289.
I think you could call that seat a long time ago.
Okay, a long time ago. I'm just giving way to the arithmetic.
Out of the
gentlemen.
17, there are 2 seats that are probably still on the knife's edge-ish.
Okay.
Or one, maybe Mikud South is leaning UWP, maybe, right? But certainly, Soufrière is
a little early.
Is a little early. It's too early to call, I would say.
So can you give me the breakdowns for Soufrière, please, Ryan?
So I can give you the breakdown for Soufrière. So in Soufrière currently, where do you want me to go?
I want everything, because the only thing I have for Soufrière right now is the Soufrière Infant School.
Quickly squeeze it.
Then we know.
Yes, okay, for
then
sure.
we know
Yeah.
Sean Edward 1,789 votes, Bradley Fulgence 1,245 votes. So the incumbent 1,789 votes to Bradley Fulgence's 1,245 votes. That's 13 out of the 20.
1,245.
Yes, so he's ahead by 544
He's widening his
votes.
lead.
Yeah.
So there's
Increasing the margins there.
The
We also
margin
have
now is 9% in his favor compared to 6% in 2020.
Yes, Castries South, Castries Southeast,
Castries South
Lisa Jawahir, 903 votes, Guy Joseph, 652 votes. So the SLP candidate there is leading by 251 votes. Again, we have 8 out of the 36 ballot boxes, or 22% of our votes in so far. So you're going to Raheem.
So Raheem, let's look at Castries Southeast before we go to Soufrière, because honestly, are you already on You're already in Soufrière?
I wasn't, but I've pressed backspace already.
Sorry, give me Castries Southeast so I can get a sense of what's happening here.
So in
Q1.
Go ahead. So let's go to Castries Southeast, the South Fellows Community College.
Q1.
Q1. Let's look at M to P.
Yeah.
You have 110 for Lisa Joahir to Guy Joseph's 58. That's in M to P. You have under R to 7. Why do I keep saying R to 7? R to Z, 124 for Lisa Joahir to the 83 for Guy Joseph.
Okay.
That's all we have for the South Fellows Community College.
Tiroche?
We have nothing for Tiroche combined as yet. We have some from Bexor Primary.
We have N to R. You have anything else from Bexor apart from N to R?
Yes, we have A to C.
Okay, let's have that.
So A to C, you have 88 for Lisa Joahir to Guy Joseph's 68. J-O to M, you have 142 for Lisa Joahir to the 80 of Guy Joseph. You have N to R, 60 for Lisa Joahir to the 62 for Guy Joseph. That's all we have for the Bexor Primary. We also have figures for the Bexor Infant School. I think we've done that.
I don't have that, no.
Okay, so A to CHAR.
Yes.
You have 133 to Lisa Joahir to Guy Joseph's 100. And you also, I think that's all we have. We've done also combined school as yet. We haven't received anything yet, folks, from Bel Air Human Resource Development Center.
Ballot Chaussee, only A to E, nothing else?
Nothing else as yet.
Or says only M to P?
Yes, yes. This is all we have.
Okay, I'm getting a call there, and I'm sure that call is for the candidate telling me to declare his seat.
Yeah, well, he does have a point.
I wonder who that candidate is.
I will say it online, but I'm sure he's calling me to tell me to declare
Because
his
he's
seat.
actually outperforming in every box in Central.
He is.
Compared to
the caller who's just trying to call me, can you please send me a text, because I can't take your call. So send me a text message so I can get a sense of what it is that you're trying to tell. But yeah, I think we get a sense from the numbers coming that you are very much ahead. He probably wants to be the first seat declared. I think that's probably why. But
I think I did that a while ago, didn't I?
you declared Southeast. Yeah. But there are seats we could have declared before. I mean, there's some seats. Kenson Kazimi's seat. There's no way that Marcella Johnson is going to overcome that lead. Even if early showing in Castries East, what Honorable Philip J. Pierre is doing there, Chico can't overcome that. I mean, this is not a good night for the United Workers' Party.
In the seats declared for Grosley, Kenson is actually doubling his performance. That's how
in the boxes,
big, from
in the boxes,
over all the boxes counted so far, his margins are 34%, whereas it was 17% in 2021. So he's really, it really seems that the constituents of Grosley are very appreciative of him.
We'll discuss the factor. We'll discuss the factors leading to the.
So give me the breakdowns of Soufrière, Rahim. I'm very interested to see what's happening in Soufrière.
Let's go to Soufrière. Just refreshing to make sure that when we go to Soufrière, we're going with the updated
You're seeing me
results.
laughing, so I know you're noticing what I'm reading. But I can't call your seat before I call the others, so sorry. But you have a point. You do have a point. Yes, go ahead, Ryan.
I don't know who Dr. Fletcher was talking to.
No, I can't tell you who I'm talking to. Go ahead, Soufrière.
So Soufrière, good. So where do you want to go in Soufrière?
H1, Soufrière Primary. I have
so we
SO
have,
to Z.
We have that. That's all we have from Soufrière Primary.
Soufrière Infant. I only have R to Z.
Okay, Soufrière Infant has been populated. So let's go A to C.
Yes.
A to C for Soufrière Infant, you have 97 to Emma Hippolyte, to 118 for Herod Stanislas.
Okay.
You have D to I, 96 to Emma Hippolyte, to 124 to Herod Stanislas. We have J to L already?
No, I don't.
Okay. 82 to Emma Hippolyte, to the 79 of Herod Stanislas. You have M to P, 78 to Emma Hippolyte, to the 72 of Herod Stanislas. And R to Z, or Z, 53 of Emma Hippolyte, to the 83 of Herod Stanislas.
Anything with St. Isidore Hall, H3?
Yes, also done. St. Isidore's Hall, A to F, 185 to Emma Hippolyte, to the 86 of Herod Stanislas.
Just to say, that is an area where the St. Lucia Labour Party did very well in the last election. So go ahead.
You have 296 under G to N for Emma Hippolyte, to the 142 of Herod Stanislas.
Okay.
He's underperforming.
You also have O to Z, 161 to the incumbent Emma Hippolyte, to the 30 of Herod Stanislas. And that is it for St. Isidore. We also have Itang Primary.
Okay. In that box, Emma Hippolyte has increased her number by 39 and Herod went down by 51.
Wow.
So he has underperformed in that box. So in that polling division, sorry, yes. Itang, give me Itang.
Yes, Itang Combined School, you have it also being done. A to H, 146 to Emma Hippolyte, and 146 to Herod Stanislas. And in I to Z, you have 160 to Emma Hippolyte, to 162 for Herod Stanislas. You also have the Boutor Combined School, A to Z, 35 to Emma Hippolyte, to Herod Stanislas, 36. You have the Force Jacques Primary School.
Yep.
We don't have A to JN as yet, but we have JO to Z, 217 to Emma Hippolyte, to the 84 for Herod Stanislas. The Force Jacques Primary School, H7, we only have K to Z, which is 68 for Emma Hippolyte, with Herod Stanislas at 97.
I need to give an update for Choiseul Saltibus because this seat is getting even more competitive. There's a 16 vote difference right now.
Oh, wow.
Clifton Charles has 1,323 votes, and Bradley Felix has 1,339 votes. So the incumbent there edging off by about 16 votes, and we have 13 of the 25 ballot boxes in thus far. So 52% of our votes in. So it is very heavily contested in Choiseul Saltibus. And the breakdown that you just gave for Soufrière, just for the public to know, in Soufrière, Emma Hippolyte has 1,741 votes, and Herod Stanislas 1,350 votes. So the incumbent had by 391 votes there, 63.6% of the votes in.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing with that is H1. There are a lot of H1 boxes that are not in. That's the Soufrière Primary School, and that is an area that's Asmame, Chasney, Colombet, Palmis, Crestland, Zeno. Those are areas where the United Workers' Party heralded quite well the last election. So it's a little early to tell what's happening there because that is a significant part of the constituency. So until we get some more numbers coming in from H1, it's going to be difficult to tell anything about what's happening with that.
I also need to go to Ifort South because Danny Butcher has just run away or is running away. Yes, but we still have to give the updates to our viewers. 17 out of 24 ballot boxes, that's 70.8% of the votes. Danny Butcher, 2,565 votes ahead by 1,755 votes.
That math is not mathing for Lady Lee. I don't see how she can.
She has 810 votes currently, and we just have to wait till the final is declared.
Edwin, what is amazing about some of these numbers is the vote share for the Labour Party. I mean, we've seen some numbers of 60%, 75%. Those are extraordinary numbers that we haven't seen in an election in St. Lucia for a while. I mean, we have to go back to 1997.
Government.
Yeah, we have to, but for anybody. So you have to go back to 1997 when the Labour Party won 16-1 to see those kinds of numbers. And it'd be interesting to see whether they even ran up those kinds of large percentages. I mean, this is a quite significant performance by the St. Lucia Labour Party
across the board.
Yeah.
Across the board.
I think.
Can we? I think there was one I needed some comparisons for, Ryan.
We go to Miku North.
Miku North, yes.
If an update on Miku North, we have 16 out of the 18 ballot boxes, so literally close to 90%. Elisha Nobot has 1,416 votes. Jeremiah Nobot 1,887 votes. Marius Wilson 5. The incumbent leading by 471 votes.
How many votes? How many boxes are missing?
Only two.
Two boxes left. Yeah. So can we declare?
Yeah. Well.
You want to know where these two remain?
No, I don't.
Where the two?
It's not like Miku North is Grozele, where you have a large number of votes coming in. So you say, okay, it's too early. I mean,
still a lot of votes to come in.
What's missing is Kwale Community Center is missing. You also and one box in Miku Secondary.
Right.
But again, in these. In Miku Secondary, thus far the subtotal is ahead for Elisha Norbert with 368 to Jeremiah Norbert's 345. Which
can you give me some numbers for Dennery South? Okay. I don't have any numbers for Dennery South.
So let me give some figures for Dennery South. I'll give you the total for now. We have 5 ballot boxes out of 14. Benson Emil 396 votes. Alfred Prosper 500 votes ahead by some 104 votes. So we have about 36% of the votes in for Dennery South, but the incumbent is ahead by some 104 votes. In the neighboring Dennery North, the incumbent there is running away too. Sean Edward has 1,945 votes to Bradley Fulgence 1,342 votes. That's 14 out of the 20 ballot boxes. 70%.
I suspect Rich Four and Dennery River came in.
So 603 votes ahead.
Rich Four.
Rich Four and also Dennery River. He did very well in Dennery River, but Rich Four is one of his strengths. But Sean Edwards, I don't know whether you saw Sean Edwards' motorcade this election.
And his whistle stops.
I mean, I said to Sean, the only thing I did not see him bringing a motorcade is a backhoe. I mean, the kind of people he had in some of these dump trucks was... Ryan, can you give me what's happening in Miku, in Dennery South? I want to see what... Because I don't really have numbers for Dennery South, except Clendon Mason Memorial. Unless we have any updates for any of the other...
I'm on Dennery South already. In Dennery South, we have nothing from the Ecotourism building.
Right.
We have Dennery Infant School on the O2, S to Z. You have 120 for Benson Emil to the 97 of Alfred Prosper. And Dennery Secondary School is complete. So you have A to E 79 for Benson Emil to the 142 of Alfred Prosper.
Where is that?
That's Denry Secondary.
No, which box?
A to E.
A to E, 79 for Benson.
To 142 of Alfred Prosper. F to J, you have 90 for Benson Emil to the 114 for Alfred Prosper. You have L to R, 74 to Benson Emil to the 102 for Alfred Prosper. S to Z, 33 for Benson Emil to the 45 of Alfred Prosper.
Okay.
And we have nothing else from Denry Infant, nor do we have from Ecotourism Building.
Okay. Okay. There was another one I wanted to go a little bit closer. Choiseul. The Choiseul numbers. I really would like to see what's happening in Choiseul.
Yes. Yeah, we need to, Del Se versus the Mongoose.
Yes. So if you could start, I have Del Se,
Mongoose.
A to E, and the only one I don't have in Del Se is F to K. Do you have anything there?
Most of Del Se.
Do you have F to K in Del Se?
Let me go back to Del Se. So let's go to Choiseul right now. So in Del Se you want
F to K.
F to K. So yes, F to K is in Del Se. You have 92 to Keith St. Charles to 145 from Bradley Felix.
Okay, so and that is significant because what has happened in Del Se is that the Labour Party has increased its vote by 125 and the UWP's vote has reduced in Del Se its stronghold by 74. So, okay, Mogouge, you have anything for Mogouge?
Mogouge Infant School, I only have one, which is
M to Z?
M to Z.
Okay, Choiseul Secondary, I3?
Yes, Choiseul Secondary, you have I3, F to L.
I have that already, and S to Z. Anything else?
S to Z, yes. We have 78 for Keith St. Charles to 59 for Bradley Felix.
You have any of the others? A to E and F to L? Sorry, and M to R? No?
No, we don't have any of these.
Okay, Dakite?
Yes, we do. So that this place is complete. A to I, 81 for Keith St. Charles to the 142 of Bradley Felix. J to Z is 78 of Keith St. Charles to the 127 of Bradley Felix.
And even there, again, Dakite is a strong area for the UWP. Keithston has increased the vote from last election by 12. Bradley has gone down by 31. Roblo combined, I5?
Nothing there.
Diga combined?
Yes.
A to Z?
A to Z, you have 153 for Keith St. Charles to the 87 of Bradley Felix.
That's a Labour Party, area Labour Party did well the last election. Hangout Bar, Jetwin?
Yes. A to F, you have 127 to Keith St. Charles to the 66 of Bradley Felix.
That must be the coolest polling division out.
Well,
Hangout Bar.
Want to just give some updates quickly for...
Quick updates, then we go into Parliament for an update.
Yes, okay. So Castries East, the challenger Peter Chico, 951 votes. Philip Joseph Pierre, 3,366 votes.
That's another one you can call.
Yes, 2,415 votes ahead again. Right there, Castries Central, we have Rush Clark with 660 votes, Stanley Felix 161 votes, Richard Frederick 1,282 votes, Andrew Matthew 10, the incumbent ahead by 622
and
votes.
I think it would be safe to call Castries Central for Richard Frederick. Yeah.
As we go to Parliament, well, a quick update from Parliament before we come back to results.
Yes.
Wow. Do we have Parliament on? Or do we
Okay, good evening, viewers and listeners to the National Television Network. Michael Gasper here with you, and I'm here to provide an update and to explain, to let you know what's happening in the St. Lucia House of Assembly as we give you updates on the general elections in St. Lucia for 2025. We are very thankful that our panelists in the studio have been giving us a very good update on what's happening. But in the House of Parliament, where I am stationed, we have mainly electoral officials from the electoral department, the staff, as well as the chief elections officer, Mr. Herman St. Helen, he's here with us as well. The chief, we also have the chair of the Electoral Commission, Marlene John Xavier, as well as there are other, we have not seen them, but there are other members of the commission, Mr. Michael Flood, who represents the opposition, Zilta George Leslie, another commissioner representing the government. I can also tell you that we have some OAS, a gentleman here from the OAS is also, as the observer mission that is, they are also here. So what we are doing here is mainly to give the actual figures, and in other words, what we've been hearing must be certified by the electoral department. So we at the electoral department, well, in Parliament, will get the figures, and so whenever it comes from here, it will be official. These are the official figures coming from the Parliament of St. Lucia. Tu me dis ça en créole vitement. Nous ici, nous avons exactement information qui vérifiée par département électoral. Avec département électoral, c'est eux qui a conduit l'élection générale à Saint-Lucie. Eux qui est responsable, l'année chef officier élection, M. Roman Saint-Hélène, et l'année plusieurs travailleurs qui ici en département pour, comme on dit, pour vérifier information, et aussi il a assisté par the chairman commissioner, c'est Madame Maureen John Xavier. Plusieurs différents mondes, là nous aussi ouais, ici à HTS, ça c'est station télévision HTS, est placé ici aussi là différents mondes pour vérifier ce qui a passé. Avec c'est exactement ça qu'a allé. Monsieur Saint-Lucien qui a coûté ça qui a passé par ces panels là, ça c'est différents mondes qui en studio qui a baillé information sur ça qui a passé. Mais comme on dit, encore the information must be verified by the electoral department, and that is what is happening here. So very soon, we will be hearing from them directly. But in the meantime, we will continue to listen to what obtains at the discussion from our panelists in studio.
We're back. Welcome back. We say thank you to Michael Gaspar. We will be going back to him for some conclusive updates and official figures from Parliament, from Michael Gaspar. And indeed, we have links with the leader of the opposition, his office over in Miku South, as do we with Philip Pierre, who was the outgoing Philip J. Pierre at his office. So we do have the two leaders, and of course Parliament will be going back to Michael Gaspar in just a bit.
Yeah, we're still watching Castries South.
The results are very interesting here, and of course we're keeping the currency of the situation as the night evolves. So Michael Gaspar, thank you. We'll be back to you in a while, as we will with our correspondents in Miku South and Castries East, the office, the campaign office of the Honorable Philip J. Pierre.
Okay. So for Castries South East, we have 11 ballot boxes in out of 36. Lisa Jawahir has 1,207 votes. Guy Joseph, 904 votes. She's ahead by 303 votes. Lisa Jawahir, 1,207 votes. Guy Joseph, 904 votes. I also would have seen some update, I believe, on Bayfront Dennery North. 1 second.
3 boxes left.
That's which one? Castries South East?
No, Dennery North, 3 boxes left. Sean Edward, the incumbent, 2,279. And Bradley Marcel Fulgence, 1,717, with Sean Edward ahead by 562. And we have about 3 ballot boxes left, and I will tell you where these will come from in Dennery North. So these 3 ballot boxes will come from the Grand Riviere Senior Primary. It will come from the Richford Infant School, and it will also come from the Old York Combined School.
Can we go down in the Castries Southeast boxes to see what's happening there?
Yeah.
So I have Q1. I have M2P and R2Z. Do you have anything in Q1? Anything else in Q1?
For Q1 for South, you have M2P and R2Z.
I have those.
We have nothing else there.
Okay. T-Rocher combined.
Nothing in T-Rocher.
Bexar Primary.
Bexar Primary is done.
It's done. Okay. So give me D2E.
D2E 100 for Lisa Joahir, and 101 for Guy Joseph.
Okay. And then F to JN?
F to JN, 96 for Lisa Joahir, and 96 for Guy Joseph.
Okay, so that's done. Okay. No, sorry, S to Z, anything for S to Z?
S to Z, 108 for Lisa Joahir, and 55 to Guy Joseph.
We're going to turn focus to Choiseul Saltibus again.
Yes, please.
Because we have gotten some updates. We have 18 now out of the 25 ballot boxes, about 72% of the votes. Keithson Charles has 1,833 votes. Bradley Felix, 1,765 votes. So a difference there, about 68 votes. Still close, but I'll allow Mr. St. Catherine to give his analysis as to what he thinks so far.
Where do we not have? I mean, we don't have much. At least not from Morgouge. No, Delce is finished.
Delce is finished.
Morgouge is
yes,
not.
It is.
Anything for Morgouge, Rhyme or Edwin?
Roblo still has.
I2. Do we have anything else for I2? Apart from A to E and F to L?
Right, so under Choiseul Saltibus, you're looking for Morgouge?
I'm looking for Morgouge, yes.
And so we have nothing for A to E and nothing for F to L.
Okay, so that's ominous because that is a very strong. That's ominous if you're the UWP candidate. That's very strong Labour. Morgouge is the bastion of Labour support in Choiseul.
And in the neighboring community of Soufrière, Foncé Jacques, where we're approaching almost all our ballots, we're talking about 3 ballot boxes. We have 19 out of the 22. Emma Hippolyte has 2,351 votes. Herod Stanislas has 2,058 votes. The incumbent leads there by 293 votes, almost about 300 votes.
Okay, so it'd be interesting to see what's missing.
Yeah, so 3 ballot boxes missing. In ancillary canneries, we have 17 out of the 23. Dominic Fede 1,661 and Wayne Girard 1,891. So he's ahead by 2,030 votes. 230 votes. My apologies.
That's okay. That's okay. So let's see what's happening in Soufrière. Rhyme, anything for the Soufrière primary school? H1?
So in Soufrière, for the primary school, what
I only have SO to Z. I don't have anything else.
Good. So Soufrière primary school is A to B, 120 for Emma Hippolyte to Herod Stanislas, 116.
Right.
C to E, you have 104 to Emma Hippolyte to 156 for Herod Stanislas.
Right.
You have 131 for Emma Hippolyte to 163 for Herod Stanislas. That's all we have for Soufrière primary in addition to the SO to Z, which we've already covered.
Okay. We have H2 is finished.
H1 still has, huh?
H1 still has, and H1 is an area where the UWP has normally done very well. St. Isidore's Hall is finished. Itang Combined is finished.
Everywhere else seems to be done.
Foncé Jacques, A to JN. Do we have A to JN for Foncé Jacques?
Yes.
Primary school?
Yes.
H6A?
So we have 156 for Emma Hippolyte to 93 for Herod Stanislas.
Okay. And then Foncé Jacques Primary School, H7, A to I?
A to I for Foncé Jacques Primary.
Yes.
Yep. 99 for Emma Hippolyte to 180 for Herod Stanislas.
Okay.
I don't think that.
Well, yes, Edwin, but no, because Emma is leading by what? Emma is leading by 293. But H1, there's still.
Yeah,
I don't
there
think
are 3 boxes. I don't think these 3 boxes
no.
making that much of a difference.
Especially when you look
that's
at,
what I'm
especially when you look at the differences that we're seeing there.
Exactly.
And Herod has significantly. It looks like he's underperformed in that H1. So it'll be.
He is underperforming so far in that H1. Yeah, he did slightly better in 2021.
So let us, for the benefit of our viewers, again just give a recap from the top.
Where we are.
From the top,
yes.
I'm going to go from Gros Delay so that we can just establish where every candidate is.
And what we can call.
Yes. So Kenson Casimir, 3,722 votes. Marcella Johnson, 1,722 votes. 30 out of 63 ballot boxes, about 48% of votes accounted for there, and Kenton is ahead by 2,000 votes.
That's impossible for Marcella to.
Yeah.
In Babonneau, John Paul Estefan has 2,919 votes to Leo Titus Previl's 2,091 votes. John Paul Estefan is ahead by 828 votes, and we're missing about
7.
Yes, 7 boxes, about 79% of the votes already cast.
Again, very, very, very difficult for Titus. Titus would have to be running numbers in those boxes that we haven't seen. So there's very little likelihood that the Titus will win Barbono, that John Paul Estefan will win Barbono.
Yes, so in Castries North, we have Brenda Edwin with 7 votes, Stephen Favre 1,236 votes, Stevenson King 2,277 votes, Gina Matthew 19, Marcella Steed 19, with about 67% of the votes accounted for. Stevenson King, the incumbent, leads by 1,041 votes.
Again, very difficult, if not impossible, for Stephen Favre to overcome that lead by, from what we've been seeing.
Yeah.
So mathematically, it might still be possible, but from the trends we've been seeing, I don't see how he can overcome this.
And one of the seats we see already declared on from our data is Castries East with 32 out of the 3.
Oh, yes.
Again, so we're just going to let the viewers know what it is now. We're missing only 1 ballot box.
Yeah.
Peter Chico has 1,110 votes to the Philip J.P.'s 3,871 votes, 2,761.
Wow.
He actually said in his campaign Operation 3,000 and quite close to that figure.
That's almost Operation 4,000.
Philip Pierre is actually experiencing one of the biggest of swings for any candidate.
Yeah, correct.
By a lot.
Yes, and we will go to explaining what
Yeah.
might have accounted for that in our post-results
Yeah.
analysis. Castries Central, Rush Clark, 660 votes, Stanley Felix, 161 votes, Richard Frederick, 1,282 votes, Andrew Matthew, 10 votes. The incumbent ahead by 622 votes. We have about 58% of the votes in
The
so far.
incumbent is ahead by almost as many votes as Roche Clark has gotten so far.
Yes.
So again, that's Richard Frederick's seat.
Yeah.
Castries South, Tommy Descartes, 1,249 votes to Ernest Hilles, 2,614 votes. David Hood, 17. The incumbent leads there by 1,365 votes, and we're missing just about 4 ballot boxes.
We can declare that for Ernest Hilles.
Yes.
We can declare that seat for Ernest Hilles.
In Ancillary Canneries, Dominic Fede has 1,661 votes to Wayne Girard's 1,891 votes. A lead by 230 votes. We have 17 out of 23 ballot boxes accounted
With
for.
quite a few from the last thing I checked of Canneries votes not in.
A lot of Canneries not
So
in.
again, it is going to be very, very difficult for
So-
Dominic Fede to overcome that lead that Wayne Girard has.
In Soufre Fonsejac, Emma Hippolyte has 2,000.
Well, that's been declared.
It's been declared?
Yeah, there's a tick. There's a tick
I need to reload.
You need to refresh your page.
Sorry.
Yes, it has been
I
declared.
give you the honor of making an announcement.
It's been
Yes.
It has been declared. Emma Hippolyte, 2,456 votes.
Yeah.
Harold Stanislas, 2,205 votes.
Still a very close
with
contest.
20 out of the 22 boxes. Emma leads by 251 votes.
And you did say that, Mr. St. Gaffron. You said that it's very,
Yeah.
it's almost.
Yeah.
Ahead by 251 votes, yes.
Yeah, with 2 boxes left.
There's 2 boxes left.
It's not.
That's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Choiseul Saltiba still closely contested with 19 out of the 25 ballot boxes. Gibson Charles, 1,914 votes. Bradley Felix, 1,865 votes. Gibson Charles leads by 49 votes.
That is a very keenly contested.
So it's very cleanly contested. Still, we're watching.
I3
Yes.
have 2 boxes there.
Yes.
Still undeclared.
We have not had many
It's
updates.
interesting. Labrie only has 1 ballot box.
Only 1 ballot box.
Yeah, I don't know what's
Unfortunately, we have
happening
not gotten an update for Labrie,
yeah.
but the figures that stand for Labrie so far are 330 votes
So
for Alba
can we
Baptist.
say that based on what has traditionally happened in Labrie and what is clearly a significant
Nationally.
swing towards the St. Lucia Labour Party,
Definitely.
that there's no way Alba Baptist is losing
Exactly.
Labrie?
Yeah. Or Moses Jean-Baptiste.
He's actually Moses Jean-Baptiste is already significantly outperforming.
And I don't know why Danny
his
Butcher
last
has
They've
not yet been declared.
declared.
Yeah, Danny Butcher
With
also.
over 75% of the votes cast so far, he has 2,956
What I had
votes.
seen.
David Charles has
They would get
15, Liana Johannes Paul 934, Shua Melchior 12, Danny Butcher leads by 2,022 votes.
With only 4 ballot boxes still
Yes,
to
so
come.
it's
So we can
impossible.
declare Beaufort South for the Labour Party.
It's funny that some online news stations have already declared the new government of St. Lucia.
Well, it is. I mean, it's
I know.
the only issue now is by what margin.
By margin.
That is very obvious.
Yeah, it's
that
very obvious.
The only, I think right now is whether it's 15-2 or 16-1.
Yeah.
Whether
You're right.
whether Choiseul and Miku South.
might be the same.
And there's Choiseul and
before.
Miku South stay.
Yeah.
Are we sure about Denry South? Or is that sure?
Well,
Let's
let's look at Denry South, but I think with what's left in Denry South.
How many boxes left?
We didn't analyze it. but-
There are 5 boxes out of 14. Prosper is leading by 104.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but
Yeah, that's a lot.
But again, it's a small constituency.
Yeah.
We'll go and we'll interrogate these numbers.
Miku
a
North
little
has
bit more.
also been declared for Jeremiah Norbert, who leads it by 588 votes.
Yeah.
Elisha Norbert has 1,499 votes. Jeremiah Norbert has 2,087 votes, and Marius Wilson has 5 votes.
That's by the man who brought dump trucks to his motorcade. Sean Edward has been declared the winner in Denry North.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Figures?
By
By
Sean Edward,
640.
2,512 votes for Sean Edward. Bradley Fulgence, 1,872 votes. Again, these are 18 out of the 20 ballot boxes. 90% of the vote is already in, so clearly, and we continue to watch Castries South, East, and Choiseul.
So if we're going to be generous, we'll say that there are 3 seats that are still up in the air.
Yeah.
Choiseul,
Yeah.
Castries Southeast, and Miku. Well, I think,
Well,
yeah,
it's
but
not in-
from what we're seeing there, I believe Alan Shasti will hold on to that seat.
appears
Yeah.
And the leaders normally do. I don't see a world in which the leaders of both political parties, even in a great national swing,
Is
don't.
doing
We've had, but it happened there. Von Lewis in '97. Remember?
Von Lewis in '97.
Well, yes, true.
A result that was predicted by Edwin St. Catherine, if you remember, Teddy.
Yes.
Edwin St. Catherine and that famous telephone poll that showed the Labour Party winning 15-1. Nobody believed them, and they won 16-1.
But don't generally.
Don't.
And this election result might mirror this invented in a reverse color.
Exactly.
And a reverse configuration in that the opposition.
Well, what we need to say is that Friday is not Monday in St. Lucia, and St. Lucia has declared itself different from the realities that happen throughout the
St.
Caribbean.
Lucia is not St. Vincent.
It's not St. Vincent for sure, and we need to analyze what the factors that would lead to
But
this.
Raisa, I couldn't understand how people were drawing the comparisons. Ralph Gonzalez had been in power for 25 years, and he was going for a 6th term. Philip JP and the St. Lucia Labour Party has been in power for 1 term, 4.5 years. There is no comparison. The fatigue that you have with the Unity Labour Party in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it would be difficult to translate that to a fatigue with the St. Lucia Labour Party after 4.5 years.
I don't think that there was an analysis being, and I think obviously political parties in their quest for momentum use the opportunity to sort of rile up supporters to a particular end. Albeit I don't think the point was well developed, because I don't know that the UWP actually had anything post the Prime Minister of St. Vincent winning, whether it be on the Friday, the actual Friday, post Friday winning, and also the Saturday. So the analysis I felt was cut short, or did not cause them to do the type of internal sort of momentum shifting across that they expected.
And that momentum word rhyme is such an important one, because we saw the momentum with the Labour Party throughout this campaign. I mean,
it continued to build.
Some people said, okay, they looked a little flat at the manifesto launch, but the manifesto launch is a different type of event. The manifesto launch is not a rah-rah, G up the crowd. The manifesto launch is a serious event, so you don't get the same type of energy in a manifesto
Which is
launch.
why they always choose a weekday relative to the bacchanal of the Sunday rallies and so on, a more sober weekday, weeknight. I think in production, our producers want to flash some cards showing some results, some declared seats. Can we gladly have that from our production team? Well, await any more from Raheem.
You want me to go through still?
Yeah, well, once you get the cards, here we have declared.
Okay.
Sean Edward, elected representative for Denry North, St. Lucia Labour Party. Philip J. Pierre, he said, Lucia Labour Party elected representative for Castries East.
Swing.
Wow.
Emma Hippolyte, St. Lucia Labour Party elected representative for Soufre Fonse Jacques.
Like, in every case, someone's government is wrong.
Thank you, production team, Geraldine, Roger and company, for having this card's confirmation coming from our official sources of the conclusive results out of this constituency.
You want to go to places like Castries South East among other
Yes,
areas?
please. And
Yes,
Choiseul.
please. Yeah.
And
So let's go
Choiseul.
to Castries South East.
Okay,
Still have a
let
lot.
me get to my spreadsheet. Sorry.
Okay. Still have a lot of boxes outstanding in Castries South East.
Okay. Yes.
But where do you want me to go?
Do you have anything else for South Louis Q1? So I need anything up to M2P. I have M2P and R2Z. So anything
There
else?
is nothing else at the South Louis Community College.
Tiroche?
Tiroche Combined School is still
Open?
out.
Okay, and that's an area where Guy Joseph has normally done well.
Yeah.
Bexar Primary is finished.
Yeah.
Wavin Poisson, SDA School,
SDA
Q4.
School also
Nothing?
Nothing as yet.
Okay.
The infant school.
Bexar Infant.
We've covered A to CHAR.
That's it?
That's the only thing that's there.
Okay, Bado Chaussee, which school?
We've covered there.
A to E, anything else?
Nothing else.
Okay.
The Bel Air Human Resource Development Center.
Nothing. A to Z?
And the Otsa Combined School is the only place
M2P?
that's there.
Okay, so we have nothing
I just
to
have
do
to say that I went to that school, by the way. I had to put it out to the national.
Oh, you're
the national.
But it's school.
You're not
The
someone.
Otsa Combined School.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
good,
yeah.
good,
A
good.
stone's throw away.
Yeah. So would that be your constituency in the future?
If the people so desire.
That's a famous cliched kind of response.
And cliches are normally true.
The truth and the humility, eh?
If the people so desire.
I don't think we have any updates.
Do we have any updates for Miku South?
For Miku South.
Diga, H1,
Let's
M1,
go.
sorry.
Let's go to Miku South. So in Miku South, what we have, you want
Diga, A to I or J to Z?
Yes, so the Human Resource Center?
Yes.
A to I, we have the leader of the opposition leading there with 146.
Yeah.
And Chandelier Harrison with 70. J to Z, 164 to Alan Chasney and 98 to Chandelier Harrison. We've completed Tiroche.
No, I need C to G.
C to G in Tiroche, 136 to Alan Chasney to the 63 of Chandelier Harrison.
Okay. Lacoville.
Lacoville is still out.
Auger is finished.
Auger is finished.
There is so combined.
There is so combined. The only place that's missing is E to I.
So give me A to D. I don't have that.
A to D is 116 for the former Prime Minister, 116 to 120 by Chandelier Harrison.
Okay.
J to MA, 108 for Deriso Combined School.
Right, I have that. So give me Blusher. Anything in Blusher?
So do you have MC to SP and ST to Z for Deriso Combined?
Deriso to combine. No, all I need for Deriso combine is E to I.
Okay, nothing there yet.
Okay, so Blusher, I need everything except PE to Z.
Okay, so K to PA is still out. You have A to E, 76 for the former Prime Minister, 76 to 140 for Chandelier Harrison. F to J, 122 for the former Prime Minister, Alan Chasney.
122?
122 to Chandelier Harrison's 109. And K to PA is still outstanding.
Okay.
Folks.
So the thing is, it looks like Alan Chasney will hold on to that seat, but Chandelier Harrison has to be given credit for how she has performed. In some of these boxes. And in some of these polling divisions. So, for example, Tiroche Multipurpose Center, M2A, which is an area that's Beausejour, Tiroche, Moro, Tucoshaw, Calypso. That's an area where the United Workers' Party has traditionally done well. Chandelier Harrison increased the Labour Party vote there over the last election by 36, and Alan Chasney went down by 14. Then Auger, Chandelier Harrison, well, Alan actually did better in Auger this time around. So his vote went up by 22 and Chandelier went down by 9. Let's look at Choiseul. Anything else from Choiseul? Because that is one of the tightly...
Yeah.
So let's go down to Choiseul.
Morgouge. Anything in Morgouge apart from M to Z?
There's only one box from Morgouge?
That's what we have so far.
We have nothing for A
We
to
have 5
E,
boxes
nothing
missing.
for F to L.
Okay. Choiseul secondary.
Nothing for M to R.
How about A to E and
A to E, nothing.
Okay.
F to L, we have something. I don't know if we've covered
I have
already.
that. I have F to L.
S to Z.
Dakita is finished.
Yeah, Dakita is finished.
Roblo, anything for Roblo?
Yeah. So Roblo is done.
Okay, give me Roblo.
Roblo, we have 130 to Kiefson Charles,
Mhm.
to the 118 of Bradley Felix. You have the 81 to Kiefson Charles and the H to R, to the 100 to Bradley Felix. The S to Z, you have 43 to Kiefson Charles.
S to Z, where is that?
The Roblo. S to Z in Roblo.
What? Roblo has what? Has how many boxes?
Has 3.
G to Z.
No, it's G to Z.
No, it is S to Z.
Doesn't Roblo only have A to F and G to Z?
That's what
That's A to G,
That's what I
H
have.
to
A to
R,
F
and S to Z.
In Roblo?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they must have changed it. Something must have happened.
Yeah.
They must have changed it at the
maybe
last
change
minute.
it.
Okay, so what? So the first one you gave me was G to what? G to R?
G. I gave you A to G.
You gave me A to F.
No, A to G.
A to G
is 130 to 118.
Right.
H to R.
Oh, H to R.
Yeah. 81 to 100.
Right.
And then you have S to Z, which is 43 to 30.
43 to 130?
To 30. 30.
43 for Kiefson
And
and
30 to Bradley Felix.
I need to give an update for Labry because we had been waiting for some updates. Although we had already projected, it's only fair to allow
we projected, and I have to claim the full disclosure. I have 2 cousins running against each other in Labry. Laura Jean-Pierre is my cousin on my mother's side, and Alva Baptiste is my cousin on my father's
So
side.
you'll be crying and sharing at the same time.
I will be doing both. So give me the good and the bad news.
Okay, so Alva Baptiste has 595 votes. That's from 4 ballot boxes. Laura Japierre, 131 votes. That's the 4th of the 17.
Yeah.
So Alva leads by 464 votes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to go out on a limb here, right?
Yeah,
For Choiseul. Although Saltibus, we have anything for Saltibus, right?
Yeah, we're done with
Okay,
Saltibus.
give me Saltibus before I say what I have to say.
Saltibus, you have A to G. Kiefson Charles, 93.
Yeah.
To Bradley Felix's 142.
Okay.
You have H to R, 52. All right, to 94. You
Right.
have 84 to Kiefson Charles.
That's S to Z?
Yes, S to Z. To the 87 of Bradley Felix.
Let us pause just to acknowledge a card from our production team, the official from the official sources. Wayne Girard, St. Lucia Labour Party elected, as Ram said, re-elected representative for Ancillary Canaries, Wayne Girard from the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Okay. Do we have anything for PI, Rhyme, J, O to Z?
PI, J to Z, nothing as yet. Still outstanding.
Okay. It's going to be very difficult. I know there's still a few ballot boxes to come in for Choiseul, but it's going to be very difficult for Bradley to win.
Yeah.
For the simple reason that these boxes are in Morgouge. A to E and F to L.
Yeah.
And
A to E Morgouge.
A to E Morgouge. Those numbers ran up the last election.
Yeah.
We're talking
21 now.
138 to 63.
We actually have an update, huh?
For Choiseul?
Yeah, 21 out of the 25, and
Okay, so-
Kiefson Charles is by 134 votes there.
So what do we not have?
All right, yeah.
We're missing 4.
so that's
Ryan, what do we not have?
Do we have anything more for Morgouge, Ryan?
If you left.
A to E and F to L. Anything
Nothing for Morgouge in these two boxes.
Choiseul secondary, A to E.
Choiseul secondary, A to E, nothing as yet.
M to R.
M to R, yes. We have some results.
What's that?
265 for Kiefson Charles to 177 for Bradley Felix, the incumbent.
Bradley is underperforming significantly in that polling division.
Yeah.
That's Choiseul Village, Reunion, Lafargue, Lirish. He's underperforming significantly in that division. And with Morgouge still to come, we have anything for N to Z.
There's a significant reduction in
Alicia
his
Thomas building.
You won the Alicia Thomas building.
N to
We
Z.
have, these
What's that?
results are in. You have 75 for St. Charles to the 71 of Bradley Felix. So that is also completed as well.
Okay, so it is almost impossible, in my estimation, for Bradley Felix to overcome the difference with these mortgage boxes still to come.
Agreed.
Because St. Charles, based on the traditional, mortgage is the bastion of Labour Party support in Choiseul. And based on that, there's no way there's no way Bradley Felix can make up that difference. So I'll go out on a limb, particularly because Choiseul is a constituency I know very, very well. I'll go out on a limb and say that Bradley Felix will lose that seat and St. Charles will be the winner.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Let's look at
we like to acknowledge the official source. We're going to the card, confirming another result.
Which one is that?
Jeremiah Norbert. He said that's pulling one out of the re-elected representative for Likud North.
These things being taking a very long time.
That's another dub.
We want to be accurate with our data.
We want to respect the official sources.
Yes, we want to do so. And again, remember, supporters are viewing this. This is a very tense time.
And very solemn time.
Yeah.
Very solemn time.
So we have to be respectful in how we give data for all sides.
But I think also, Raisa, where it is obvious that it is not possible for a particular candidate to overcome,
yes, we do.
then even before it is officially declared,
Yeah,
that's our role here.
That's within our right to
It is
declare.
mathematically impossible.
So both are good. That we go ahead and be proactive because of our analysis and our figure, but we also acknowledge and respect the official source when it comes. Because remember, officially, legally, they count only tomorrow. Does it become final?
That's right. That's right.
Country South East, we still at a halt there.
Nothing is coming in?
Nothing is really coming in. Lisa Joahir still holds a lead of 303 to Guy Joseph's 904. Well, she has 1,207 of the votes, but again...
so I'm missing something here, because I only have Lisa at 1174, so...
Okay,
I'm missing a vote.
Fresh, it's 1207 now, so Guy Joseph is 907.
907, so tell...
904, sorry, folks.
Guy Joseph is 904?
Yeah.
Okay, so I probably entered something incorrectly there, because I have Guy Joseph at 937.
Okay.
Okay, so that's fine. We'll sort that out afterwards.
Yeah. Again, also, we're still missing some stuff from Dennery South.
Yeah.
About 6 boxes outstanding.
Okay, so give me Dennery South, because I don't have... I have a lot of gaps in Dennery South.
Okay.
So ecotourism building, anything there?
So in Dennery South...
01?
Ecotourism building, nothing there.
Nothing yet.
Dennery Infant and Primary?
Infant.
02?
What exactly within
I only have S to Z.
Okay, so under A to C.
Right.
113 for Benson Emil to 133 for Alfred Prosper.
Okay.
D to E we have no results. F to G we have no results. H to K we have no results. L to O we have 81 for Benson Emil to 102 for Alfred Prosper. P to R we have 88 for Benson Emil to 127 for Alfred Prosper.
Okay.
And S to Z, we have 120 for Benson Emil to the 97 of Alfred Prosper.
Okay, so what we're missing is
ecotourism.
Is D to E, F to G, and H to K in the Dennery Infant School, and the 3 boxes in the ecotourism building.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And Prosper is leading by 184.
Just under 200.
Yeah. And again, this is a
very small constituency.
Very small
micro
constituency. Yeah. Yeah.
It's another issue we need to discuss in the post results. The disparity.
Especially
the indecent.
Somebody like Kenson Casimir, Teddy.
The
size of the constituency that Kenson Casimir has to. Kenson Casimir's constituency is like what, 4 of Dennery South?
When I saw someone re-elected in Gozeli, for consecutive terms, Mario Michel?
Mario was the last.
It's 24 years since that happened. 24 years
97 and 2001.
24 years, quarter of a century since anyone was re-elected for consecutive terms in Gozeli.
That was quite telling.
And Mario's performance
in his second election
was worse than his first election. This is unprecedented in more than one way for Gozeli.
Going back to the constituency boundaries issue, it's been an issue that we have to resolve. I think it's always been on the political agenda, and it's there for too long without us resolving.
Well, they tried to, but I think Honorable Guy Joseph
because of the
filed
action
an
before
injunction.
the court.
And I think this is because, to be honest, it is not fair to Kenzin Kazimi. Although by these results, you say, well, it's fair because if you can increase his numbers that way. But it is a significant. I remember being in a cabinet with Emma Hippolyte, and Emma complaining all the time that, boy, look, the resources that go to grocery are disproportionately low compared to the others because her constituency is just so large, you know. But I think the other thing that we have to look at too is the choice of some of the candidates. The United Workers' Party made some strange choices with its candidates this election. There were people who did well in 2021 when there was a swing towards the St. Lucia Labour Party that I thought would be given a second chance this time around. Ferropolius, for example, did well against Sean Edward in 2021, and Ferro was taken out. London was introduced very late in the game, and there was some boxes that he did well against Mosa, and then he was taken out. So the choice of candidate was very strange, to say the least.
But it was strange. You know, if you were following the movement of how the United Workers' Party has been structuring its leadership and who aligns with the leader, it wouldn't be strange for that. And that's why we have to now discuss party formation, party strategy, and a respect for your base. Even those who may oppose you, that is something that we have to discuss. Because in the political realm and even in the social media space, there was a disregard for opposing voices within the United Workers' Party.
Well, the chairman said so, right? So I don't know whether you remember. The chairman said that the most important criterion for candidate selection was loyalty to the political leader. He said so.
That's what
and we saw an unprecedented number of individuals who were stalwart members of the party, not Johnny Come-Latelys that just came.
That's never happened.
That has never happened before, and declared publicly that they were not pleased with the manner in which a number of things had been done, and therefore we can see that as a reflection. So internally there has to be a moment of introspection, and one would ask to, even after losing the last general election, did the United Workers' Party do the right analysis of what went wrong, working on it, or come back and tell us, well, I'm putting the same cards on the line, but with a fresh card of candidates.
Well, the simple issue too significant, you haven't touched it yet, the leadership. Despite winning his seat, whether United Workers' Party, rank and file, and indeed the executive and so would decide to persist to continue with Alan Chastney at the two successive
defeats. And it was a point I alluded to, and I didn't want to go into it because voting was still taking place. But look at the two manifestos. The manifesto of the United Workers' Party was Alan Chastney on the cover with the pot behind him. And this was a manifesto that the United Workers' Party was trying to recast itself as a caring government.
Our future.
Our future. But you can't cast yourself as a caring government if what you're showing is hard infrastructure behind you. Compare that to the St. Lucia Labour Party. Philip Pierre, not only with his entire team, but his arms open, embracing them. And a lot of pictures of ordinary St. Lucians on the front of the manifesto. So it's a different vibe that you're getting from the two camps.
A lot back when you put the leader for leader, there is a PIP factor where you heard on the ground and in various constituencies, while some of the candidates may not have had the greatest appeal to their base, they said, I may not be voting for my candidate, but I'm voting for Philip Joseph Pay as Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
He was putting up his candidate.
The simple fact, even ahead of that, we made the point at the start of the broadcast that so seldom you've seen an incumbent candidate, Prime Minister, increase in popularity, certainly as an incumbent. And also the growth of Philip Pierre from his swearing in, the early months, that many considered rocky, unsteady, down to the command and confidence towards the end, and the growing respect and confidence from the public. That is a separate analysis.
Later, leader pour opposition. La tenye shy moun ka di bagay kot li pa sou manye ite ko representative, mais ipate la, ipate sa fe premier ministre, ipate sa pale, di fwa bagay ko sa. We saw a very superficial analysis of Philip. He was underestimated to try to cast him in the shadow of the former leader, Dr. Kenny Anthony. But in his...
Even by some of his own party members, they underestimated him.
But he has established himself in a very distinct way.
Yeah.
And not just himself, but the philosophies of the St. Lucia Labour Party have come out stronger than I have ever seen in my analysis of policies tied towards social justice that touch at the very core of what matters to St. Lucians, whether it comes to the economy, job creation, and safety nets. Even when
you
we
seem
saw
to have a keen sense for the experience of the common man.
Yes, and it touched that.
The disparity and the contrast is captured well in this social net that is so crucial in the philosophy of the Labour Party, being dismissed as handouts, undesirable, deplorable handouts by the United Workers' Party. That captures the difference.
It's a poor characterization of the St. Lucian public and a misunderstanding that the majority of St. Lucians are working class people. So when you see developments in education that benefit not just St. Lucia Labour Party supporters, but St. Lucians, and you class these things in a negative light, although your manifesto actually mirrors some of the policies that the St. Lucia Labour Party actually does. It's like it was so confusing that
it was not credible.
Yes,
it was because you see you're saying one thing. For example, the statements on South Louis Community College contrasted with what you did with South Louis Community College before. The statement
it was
on
not believable.
The statement on the caregivers when your first action in getting into office was to terminate the caregivers, to stop the NICE program. So there was a credibility gap that was there. But going back to Philip Joseph Pierre, what he has done, I mean, it's incredible the transformation of the Prime Minister from the person who took office in 2021 to the person we see in front of us right now. He is calm, he's confident, he's also been a decent Prime Minister. Philip Pierre has received a lot of pressure in the media from one or two media practitioners. He has never once lost his cool. He's never once been indecent. He's never once called anybody anything. He has been a very calm and measured and dignified person. And I think that is not lost throughout his political career. And, you know, there's something else about this Prime Minister that I don't think people have understood. This is a man who, in 1992, fresh out of university, decided to dedicate his life to politics. And this is not somebody who did it because he didn't have any other options. He had options.
In an era where
he was seen as crazy and going up against a Romanus Lancico who, and let's not forget Teddy because we were there, who basically denigrated Philip Pierre, called him all sorts of names. He persisted. So you have to appreciate someone who has done that, someone who is clearly doing this because he cares about people. You know, the whole Philip Cares thing, I think we saw he lived up to that, and that is, but just before you come in, Raisa, what I found was amazing. For me, there was an inflection point in this Prime Minister's journey where he stopped trying to be what other people wanted him to be, and he decided, I'm going to be my Prime Minister. I'm not going to try and be the other Kenny Anthony.
I got a reaction quite a bit.
And you know, for me, part of that inflection, you see that time of the Macaba worm, when that came out, and you know, some people tried to make a whole thing out of it. But it was a Prime Minister saying that, look, I have principles, and I will not succumb to buying rum for you to give your vote. And it helped that, you know, the guys made a meme out of it. And the Prime Minister then, he had swag. The Prime Minister's swag increased, and I think that is what you saw. You saw Philip Pierre, who was comfortable, confident.
It was authenticity.
It was authentic.
Let's take a moment to consider what next for a candidate like Titus Prater. What Tommy Descat? Who's promising on the United Workers' Party side? What if you are advising UWP, Edwin St. Catherine, Jimmy Fletcher, the approach? Alan Shastney, do you proceed with him as leader?
Before the gentlemen come in quickly, I mean, that these individuals are among the individuals that the UWP has really positioned as the brighter sparks of the party. Some of the Previlles, the Descartes, the Favorites, who, as per the media's conversation, has essentially left their high net worth professional jobs to be able to engage in politics. The problem has always been that you can't ascend to national politics and become leaders of political party without winning your seat.
Exactly.
And I think at times the difficulty that I saw in this campaign were these candidates trying to assume a national, regional, international profile, as I alluded to earlier, suggesting a more technocratic role in the international sphere as opposed to being a politician.
As opposed to winning the seat.
As opposed to winning a seat. That gives you the pathway.